everybody. Welcome back to Starlost Seas. I'm Cryoline. I'm your DM, and that's the party. Look at them. Look at them all waving their hi, Kay. Oh gosh. I'm sorry. I looked down at my screen and I immediately locked eyes with you. And
Hey, Crow, what are you
doing that for the past 20 sessions?
I didn't know. You just like startled me.
I literally do that every session.
Did you say your dog?
Yeah, there was a great misunderstanding on the Discord where somebody thought Cubone was my dog.
You?
What?
You can have him. You can take him. Take him.
No.
Take him. Enjoy all of your socks, underwear, and ether. Oh, I swore. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Put an ad.
Oh, and Ethernet cords eaten.
Put an ad in.
I mean, we've had like a minute-long ad before every single one of these.
Put an ad for Cubone in the mail. He will send them to you.
He'll eat all of the things he's not supposed to, and more for only $3.99.
And what he's supposed to.
Are you tired of having socks, underwear, and internet connection? Well, we can solve all of those problems for you right now.
He was the one that killed Socks.
Are you tired of having socks and shoes? Well, look no further than episode 22.
Astral Hound right here.
I got rid of both of those motherfuckers. I'm so sorry. Anyways, last time on Starlost Seas, we picked back up with the finest, leaving Saraisen in the aftermath of the Purple Worm incident, as it shall henceforth be referred to as. With the Hollow damaged, but the city overall saved, and both captives, Aster and Nalu, recovered. Everybody was in pretty good spirits as they returned to the ship. Definitely the worst off of the group was Alina, who was injured after her encounter with the guards of the Hollow. But all in all, you guys got out of there pretty easily and relatively unscathed. So everybody set about sort of just various layers of recovery. I'm sorry, we just saw something. Everyone set about various layers of I gotta do
Alright, let's run it back. Run it back. Marcy, cut this.
Oh no, don't cut it. Don't cut it. We're fine. I'm just... People are just sending me jokes and DMs, and Crow also added me in a very funny... It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I got
the title now.
I can do this. You all returned to your airship and began your various methods of recovery. Hick and Nori started attending to Aster, who was still unconscious. Hickory also had a lot of injuries after her basically forced one-on-one with Axel as he tried to break her concentration and get rid of her and her quarry. So, to better help Hickory heal quicker, Nori kind of gave her some sleeping meds without telling her what it was when Hick took a swig of it. Yeah, I mean, she kind of drugged you. You drugged yourself. She told you to drink a random potion out of her bag, and you did.
She gaslit gatekeep girl bossed me into drugging myself.
But yes, the rest of the group took various naps and various levels of relaxation. Dolus removed his mask, and as his feelings came back, he was struck with a lot of regret and just sort of emotional weight, particularly regarding Alina, as during the drama of everything happening, he had just sort of walked past her in her injured state. The two of them talked about it, and they sort of came to the agreement of these sort of things happen, and in the future, Dolus will try to be more mindful. Him still maintaining the layer of secrecy around the mask, removing his, various emotions. Doc and Hickory were visited in their dreams by Arlashna, who revealed to them a number of things. Everyone seemingly around the world was privy to Delilah's little awakening show, similar to the rest of you. And up in Estelgron, with a lot of research into the Starlost, as well as the twins' current state of being two people sharing the same instance of time, the leading theory amongst researchers and Miss Melatonin is that Hick and Doc will either end up stuck as one of them, or stuck as some weird amalgamation of the two of them forever if they do not separate in the near future. Exactly how long the process could take, or which way it will end up being, no one can really note. But Arlashna goes on to basically say that sacrificing yourself and your safety is not inherently honorable, and that no one would judge the twins for making a decision to sort of save themselves. There still is no better option on the table for the two of them than Delilah's simulacra offer, of which you're not sure she's still offering, given the various places the situation's at currently. Hickory woke up, had a conversation with Dolus, who was still sitting with the recovering and now napping Alina, where they again sort of reinforced that in the future he needs to be more mindful of the health of people around him, as the last few times they've gotten into combat, it seems Dolus is a little too tunnel visioned. Dolus, once Hick left and was alone, muttered to himself something about Fey contracts having loopholes. Meanwhile, Annie went to have a bath in Lorelai's bath after Hush had finished soaking in it, so he could re-moisturize after his time in the desert. As Annie entered, she was a little confused to find Lorelai in there, waiting for her with some wine and candles lit. And Lorelai essentially propositioned Annie, who just didn't really know how to respond. And while she was just weighing it all and being incredibly awkward and far too verbose and literal, Lorelai would just completely ruin the mood. And Lorelai was like, fuck it, you just use the bath, I'm out. Annie did proceed to take a very nice bath while Hickory talked to Nalu about the Westwood and being a hold master and all of their plans with Allura and swaying Allura to her side. They also caught Nalu up on all of the various ins and outs of the situation you're in. You all just kind of had a bit of a rest until you arrived at the Autumn Forest, where the group, including Nalu and a still unconscious Aster, and minus Alina, who decided to stay, headed back to Pitloom. You passed right by the small city, and you went straight to the camp where you knew Fagin would hopefully be. Luckily, Atronon was also there, and the two of them were both very happy to see Aster and Nalu in one piece, although still a little confused how Aster ended up where she did. You all started going over what the next step of the plan would be and talking to Allura. At first, it seemed like this is where you were going to part ways with the Holdmasters, and they were going to proceed with sort of getting the Empire under control while you all left. However, just as all of that was happening, the three Holdmasters all received a message from the capital that the new king of Eubuea and his archmage had arrived in Altieri, and they were all to return immediately for the sake of the peace talks. Given that you guys you know the Archmage. You naturally reached out to Delilah to see if this was accurate. And rather than responding via sending in response to Hush, Delilah teleported herself to your location and grabbed Hush, asking what he had just said. And that is where we ended the last session. And that is where we are going to pick back up. Got through all of that while getting several memes sent to me in DMs and holding back a lot of laughter. But yeah, so we're going to pick back up in the tent. The air is cold, and it is darker in here than it should be. It is dim suddenly in the tent, despite the candles lit and the outside light. This is not like these are not like blackout cloth tents. Like this lets light in, and it is dark in here suddenly.
Hush is like being lifted, and then just out of everyone's head is like, deja vu. Talk to them, not me. I'm just the messenger. You're shooting the messenger right now.
Hi.
You say someone else speaks, Lotus, obviously, and her head snaps like your direction.
Hello, I'm glad you're okay. So, this is shitty, yes?
He's bad, I think. She still hasn't let go of me.
One of the two who's not a child, explain, please.
The quartermasters here in the room just received a message that the new king of Eubuea, Holdmasters, that the king of Eubuea and his archmage are currently awaiting in Altieri.
She turns her head to the Holdmasters. Nalu's got her claws out and is kind of nervously tucked away, clearly not wanting to fight in her current state, but ready. Atronon has a hand on his axe, and Fagin's got his hands on both of his swords.
She's good. She's good. She's good.
Kind of slowly let go of their weapons. She drops you, Hush. Empirical Holdmasters, hi. The last time I saw one of you, I vaporized him. Nervously glance at each other. And then she just turns back to you guys, almost ignoring.
I knew I felt deja vu.
Well, the new king of Eubuea is currently in the city of Fort Dawn. And the Archmage is here.
That's why we thought it was weird and decided to contact you right when we got the information.
You're feeling better.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine. Perfectly up to it. She is, now that you guys have a moment of not panicking, Delilah is disheveled. Delilah is not in her nice dress that you've seen her in prior, or her big courtly armor robes that you've seen her wear before. She is in a normal tunic and a mid to the knee skirt, and her hair is just pinned back. She is clearly out of sorts, and there is a sunkenness to her cheeks.
We took care of the purple worms. All by ourselves. Didn't I keep wanting to say Artemis, but it's
Ardalin.
Ardalin. Didn't Ardalin tell you?
No.
The city of Saraisen had the big three towers. Inside of each of them was a giant purple worm that the Starlost were attempting to raise and then presumably use to destroy the city and the ley line that lays upon it.
I should just raise the entire empire to the ground. I really should.
We rescued Nalu, one of the Holdmasters who was being kept in the hollow, and also we found one of the quintet, which was in the middle of the three towers.
And all of the purple worms are back in the Underdark. because we banished all of them at the same time. We broke in, got who we needed, and defeated 3 purple worms.
I don't care.
I just thought you'd want good news. You don't seem like you're in a good mood.
The city of Saracen could have been flattened, and I would not care. You seem to overestimate the value I provide to human life, particularly if it's, well, I don't know, someone who works with these fucks.
That's fair.
If Drenus is in Fort Dawn and you're not involved, there's really only one conclusion we can come to here then, huh?
Yeah, probably our buddy back.
How could he get any validity in the Empire as the new king of Eubuea if he's just inhabiting somebody new?
Lying really well? Magic?
Inhabiting somebody old.
Wouldn't you need the
His
seal to
connections
prove
in the Empire still are probably pretty good, especially if there are any of his stupid little inquisitors or anything who knows what he is.
it? Right.
He's got the power to do so. So he did so.
He has a support network he's built up over at least 15,000 years.
That's all of it.
It's not going to matter, though, because in roughly 2 hours, the city of Altieri will be gone. So if you have any loved ones, tell them to leave, she like says to the Hold Masters, and they're like, hey, wait, whoa.
That doesn't seem like it, and I feel like that's not the best idea.
I don't know. I feel like I've given them way too much leeway so far, considering the current situation.
There's a ley line on Altieri, like there was in Saracen, which is why we thought that the purple worm vanishing was kind of a big deal. And breaking the ley lines is kind of what, that guy's trying to do.
Yeah.
It could open up the path for him if you destroy a lot of stuff. We shouldn't blow up things. And I like blowing things up. I really do. But I'm kind of against it right now.
Just the Capitol building, then. That's enough. Altieri can survive without, 50, 100 council members.
I
Swap out Emperor and Empress every few hundred fucking years anyways.
I walk over to Dolus. I'm like, I'm not from this world. Please, I can't. You. I don't know if
that's the
that's
only other
actually...
person not from this plane.
I don't know. Fuck, I've never been to Altieri.
I don't know how the politics here work.
I don't either.
Oh crap! Right.
Well, our plan was to do a coup. Wait, that was the plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we saved Nalu. I mean, we were gonna go to Altieri anyways. Maybe we could go with Delilah, so then Delilah, rather than using big magics, can be like, hey, what the fuck is happening?
Show up and be like, that's not true, and that you don't agree to this, and not blow things up.
And we can figure out who the king is and who the archmage is at the same time.
And at the end of the day, the seal is with Fort Dawn, so if they don't have that, doesn't that kind of ruin any sort of validity to their claims?
See, here's the thing. Everything you're saying is so logical and patient and I mean, realistically, would probably work. But I have had a very bad last 2 hours or so. And all of my problems can kind of trace back towards this one fucker.
What?
So I really just want to destroy everything he built.
What if he wants you to do that? What if this is what he expects you to do, and he is hoping for? I mean, he's poking the bear really hard with the stick right now with what happened and what's been brought out, especially since it was broadcast to everybody.
Who did send the sending to you three?
Court mages. It's their job to send us messages.
Was it anybody you personally know? Somebody that you can trust sends actual sendings? That can't
each
be
of them was a
skewed?
different mage since they sent it all at the same time. I didn't know mine. I didn't know mine. I did not know mine. I don't know any of their names. They don't like me.
Because, I mean, if we're following the same logic that Hush is on, what if, Martin already knows that we've saved Nalu and you two are on our side, and telling you guys would tell us, and then we would inevitably tell Delilah,
If
a chain reaction.
if the purple worms disappeared and Nalu disappeared and Aster disappeared, I think Martin knows by now. So it's good to assume that that could be a possibility.
Regardless
Hush.
of whether
Yeah,
they intended us to follow through on this path, or if he's 2 steps ahead or 3 steps ahead in this game of 3D chess that we think he's playing, either way, destroying the city of Altieri does nothing but further his own plans. And even if he is destroyed, he will come back again and again.
Hush.
Yes.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, I'm really good at persuasion.
I sure hope you are, because otherwise we just blow up a city.
Yeah.
Did I just
and
give him
you just-
advantage?
Yeah, you and Lotus gave him advantage.
Let's go. Persuasion. Okay. Not bad. Okay, that was a 1. Good. I'm going to bolster deck it because it's Delilah. I'm going to spend a d6. Is it a 5 or a 2? It's a 5!
1 moment.
24.
Pause.
I'm trying not to talk. I don't want to fucking die.
God,
And then there's this asshole!
The internal debate of Dolus not respecting authority, but me not wanting to roll a new character at episode 107
Yeah.
is so...
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's the two kids that are primarily talking. It's so
That's-
great.
She doesn't want to hurt kids. We have this shield in front of us of like, we can say what we want to say. But there's still like a moment of
And
like
it's not like we're like, "Oh, go ahead, kids. You guys just keep talking.
Yeah, you do just.
We got-
You do,
hey, no, we got big brains. It's okay.
Baby's
okay.
What the fuck you mean? We got big brains.
All
it
right.
ain't got nothing
We are
to
the
do with
smartest of the
intelligence.
party.
Sure.
It's true.
Okay.
Well, it's a 19.
All right.
No, you're doing this on purpose.
Yes, I am. did your big brain help you figure that out?
Whoa.
No, I don't have the headband of intellect. I have the headband of valid.
What does that
Damn.
boost?
How long does it take to
charisma.
attune?
About 3 to no, it's about 7 days
Okay.
after
well,
order.
After order.
You have to attune to it while it ships.
Sorry,
No.
landlord.
You're good.
Okay, got you back.
24.
What'd you get?
24.
Whoa.
24. All right.
We need this.
I mean,
Roll insight.
you no. You give your whole explanations and everything. And Delilah is she's clearly just really torn in this moment. Her hands are kind of shaking. Everything in the room kind of seems to get darker again for a moment. Like even like shadows are creeping in, and then she finally just like and breathes out, and all the light returns. You guys notice a few candles that were unlit lighting around the room.
Yay.
And she just fine. I will practice self-control.
You.
And I will tag along while we find out who this is.
We get Delilah with us.
And then once we find out who they are and who is supporting them, then I'll vaporize that entire lot.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
Who is she?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, Annie, this is Delilah. She is the Archmage of Eubuean.
She's like the strongest person that has ever been.
You picked
Yeah.
up another stray.
She is the strongest person in the world.
She disintegrated me once. She's very strong.
Don't remind me of that.
This is Annie. She is an Eladrin stuck in her winter form. She has no emotions or feelings of any kind, and she also wants Martin dead, and she's very strong as well. So,
Powerful caster with no remorse who wants Martin dead? You sound like my kind of lady.
Delilah,
Yes.
as far as strategy goes, I know that you all had to deal with some weird dream state, but as far as it goes, it seems that Doc and I are kind of separate from Martin. He can't keep an eye on us like he keeps an eye on all of you.
Really? And what's that done for you, Hickory?
Not much.
Then shut the fuck up.
It's an
Proceeding
advantage.
forward, any strategy, any theories, any tips or clues you all have, keep them to your fucking selves.
Noted.
I'll be waiting outside. She just steps out.
There's I like go over to Annie. There's still some like bad blood, I think. Only to Annie. Delilah did not hear that.
What'd you say?
I said, I think there's still some like bad blood or like some hot blood in the ow, hot blood in the air.
Did you make her mad?
Not me.
Ooh.
She just kind of messed up. I think she's still upset about Matthias dying.
So now is probably not a good time to ask questions.
No, actually, no. You shouldn't. You should not. As good. It was a good time to ask me if you should, but I don't think it's a good time for you to ask her anything right now because she might.
Atronon kind of just like, so that's the Archmage of Eubuean, then. You all plus Fagin all like nod.
Delilah. Oh, sorry, don't finish. Go on.
She's something.
As when she leaves the room and like Acheron says this, I'll look over to Hickory, like looking slightly dejected, and goes, "Yep, she's something. She's a lot of things. She's not the boss of me. Now let's talk about strategy. We need to think before we go into this. We might have the Archmage of Eubuean with us, but we don't know what we're getting ourselves into."
Did you guys also hear Ireland mention that she's not completely well yet when she was coming here?
Yes.
which takes a
Yeah.
lot out of a caster.
So we should definitely keep that in mind and not put all of the brunt, if any, on her.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, she'd probably be saving herself for this big vaporization that she plans on doing.
Yeah.
Regardless, we don't want it to come down to another confrontation like we had in Fort Dawn.
That was a disaster.
We'll have to go
Wait.
quiet on this.
Hickory, if the person, the new king of Eubuea or whatever, is actually Martin, you would be able to figure that out, or no?
Possibly. I don't know, I didn't really have a grasp on scene like we did while we were fighting. I saw some flicker of a shadow when he tried to do something to Twink, but that was pretty much all I saw. Other than that, he just looked like Martin. I might be able to see
you're
now.
more powerful now. Yeah.
And regardless, if I'm able to see him, as long as he doesn't physically see me, it shouldn't be an issue. I'm basically a blind spot for him.
This is just kind of like, I'm just gonna throw this in the pot. I'm not actually gonna like suggest it as a full chest, but I can technically always message him if he ever wants to gloat.
Martin, don't do that.
I'm not saying that I was going to. I said that it's a possibility. If there's ever a moment we need something, he might gloat. He's done it so much.
Or he might use that connection and hurt you.
You know, if he wants to gloat, he'll do it without you reaching out to him.
I think he could hurt me if he wanted to at any time. Regardless if I reach out to him.
The other concern is we don't know who the Archmage is. It could be one of you guys, or it could be one of the ones that came after me. Or it could be somebody we haven't even met yet. But regardless, if they're powerful enough to be considered an Archmage, especially with the legacy of following Delilah, they've got to have a decent amount of power to them.
Or they're really good at bullshitting, like Fagin speaks on.
Yeah.
I don't know where they'd find a caster that's up to leagues with Delilah.
Oh,
They
no.
don't just kind of pop out.
Even if they don't have to be up to leagues with Delilah. It's not like they do like a test to see if they're really an Archmage. If whoever is posing as the Emperor of Eubuea gets in, they're not going to question him saying that someone's his Archmage. This person might not even be a caster. They could just be a dud.
We don't really have much of a choice here. The only way to know is to see, but we have to process the fact that when we do see, everything could just go to hell again.
Hickory, don't you have like a thing that gives you answers? Like a spell?
I mean, to a degree, I could ask time, but it's fickle.
It'd help. I just know that you have like that ability to kind of get a direction or bind things out. It could help. Throw it in the pot.
Do I even have the materials to do this right now?
You don't have to do it right now. You can get the materials. Does it consume the materials when you use it?
Some of them.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure possibly if it would get us a lead. I don't mean to put words in your guys' mouth. Look back at them, but it could possibly pull some strings if it could give us a lead.
Have we ever tried to scry on Martin?
Well, that leaves the problem of if we try to scry on Martin. Martin is just a facade that he kept, and trying to scry on Vecnost himself is even more complicated.
Try and scry on personification of the dreaming dark.
It'd be a little hard. I'm pretty sure scrying's a bit specific. And
If
Martin's-
he's still got his magic powers like he did when he was Martin, scrying on him's probably not a good idea.
I think that would get us in more trouble than just messaging him.
Well, I mean, no offense to the two of you, like Fagin says to Adrenon Nolling. When I joined, I may or may not have gotten several magical eyes set up in all of the Holdmaster's offices so I could keep an eye on all of you. And the only one who ever found theirs was Martin. So, general rule of thumb, he's pretty good about that.
It's like our Lashna. When we scroll on her, she can see. So, I mean, even if we want to plan, we can't. We don't have enough information. Because we don't. Well, we have to get to Altieri first.
Hmm.
I mean, I've never even been there.
About getting to Altieri. Your airship is going to be faster than us walking. Even if
Right.
we got all of our crew together, sent everything off. I mean,
Is it on this
Astronaut and I
continent?
together have almost a whole battalion here.
Are we on the same continent?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on us.
Okay.
We could temporarily guise ourselves as your entourage.
That was going to be my suggestion. We fly in with your airship, you get into the capital with us, and I mean, it's going to get you a lot farther than if you just show up.
That's a good idea.
Should we make a plan for if we have to leave?
I think the plan for if you have to leave is outside and threatening to vaporize the city.
Which, yeah, true, we have Delilah.
Yeah.
So our plan to leave is...
Leave.
Well, here's the thing. If this goes south, I don't think you're running away. I think you're kind of looking at whatever's left.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
True.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Hickory,
Hmm.
what are the components for your spell?
I have
That
the
you need.
incense. I just need an offering. I could attempt to cast Divination. Ask who is in the Empire posing as the king and the Archmage. I may get an answer. It's our best shot.
what
you
sort of
have a-
offering do you need?
Mostly just things worth money.
Oh, didn't we get this trinket that's worth 500
We have several trinkets
We
worth
have.
money.
I have an item in my inventory called valuables.
Yeah.
Worth 500 gold.
I have an item called 500 gold worth item.
I believe it is multiple items. So we can divvy it up to reduce that, correct, Cryo?
I mean, you could, yeah.
How much?
How much
is-
value do you need?
25 gold?
Oh, we are. Yeah, no.
Yeah, bro, you cast augury like 80 times. We don't care.
It's not augury, it's divination.
Oh,
just
yeah, bro, you
reach-
cast divination like 80 times. We don't care.
I reach into my fucking bag. Because so the valuables are just random things we ransacked off of that pirate ship, right?
Mm-hmm. Just
It could be just
valuables.
any other.
So, yeah, so jewelry, trinkets.
I throw him some guy's watch.
Yeah, you get a pocket watch.
Okay.
It's a pocket watch worth, hang on, because this won't be exact math. It's going to be a pocket watch worth 45 gold.
Great, so it's going to
Goalless,
consume like
you
roughly
remove
half of the...
Yeah.
Half of the watch.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
It'll be accurate. It'll be an accurate time telling device half the time.
Do you need multiple items?
Twice a day.
No,
Twice a day.
just an offering worth about that much.
Oh, okay. I was gonna give you like 4 ball bearings.
Okay.
I just have 1,000 of them.
Hickory kind of digs in her bag, sets up some incense, sets the watch. And yeah, we're gonna.
Wait, while you're doing this though, what are you asking? What are we gonna be? What's the plan? What are you gonna be
As
asking?
you guys are prepping and figuring out your question, Fagin and Astronon start talking, and Astronon steps out of the tent to start giving commands to soldiers outside.
Well, I was thinking that the best thing to ask is the true identity of whoever is in Eubuea pretending to be the king and the archmage. Logically, if we go ourselves, it's within 7 days, which is usually about how long it takes for divination to still be accurate.
That's a good time frame.
And considering that I'm divvying into basically every possibility ever, I assume there's at least one instance to where we actually do that.
Yeah.
So I will ritual cast divination because I feel like I really should have my spell slots with me.
Yeah. Lorelei confirms that max speed, the ship will get you guys there in like 2.5 days.
Okay.
And
Which is a lot faster than the 1.5 week walk.
yeah, a little bit.
Is there a astral path, Annie?
Is there?
The loading screen comes up.
While they're divining, you make me an Arcana check to see if you can find a
Divine.
suitable astral path that'll save you guys time.
Wait, I rolled 2 dice. What the fuck am I doing?
Roll a percentile.
What did I roll for? Or what-
Arcana.
Arcana.
Come on, Bulls. You got this.
I forgot I got a -2 on intelligence. 9.
9. Going over the astral path. You don't think you're going to be able to shave time off because to get to a path entrance will take you guys like a day. And then the closest one you can find is like a day or a day and a half away from Altieri. So it's like you'd go out of your way to get to the path to get to a closer exit, and you'd probably end up taking about the same amount of time as if you just went straight there.
Can't wait for an updated map with all the astral path exits and entrances.
So, Annie, is there an astral path?
It wouldn't be optimal.
Oh, okay.
Can I drive?
No.
What?
Like Hickory, without looking up from like her spell work, she's like, no.
I am in my head. I imagined like be like, Annie, is there an astral path? And she just like tries to think about it. With the 9 Arcana, is just like her. She blinks and it's like the blink, blink. No.
It's like the OG Siri. Like before she was even Siri, she was just voice assistant.
Oh my god. Hickory, divination.
Yeah.
What is the exact phrasing of your question that you're asking? In character, do your whole shtick.
Okay.
You toss your item into the little basin of incense of
Yep.
materials and incense and stuff, and you trigger divination.
We need to know the names of who the King of Eubuea and Archmage are that are currently in Altieri.
The smoke. You guys all watch as the smoke from the incense kind of swirls in this little brass bowl with this watch that kind of cracks and shatters a bit. And as the glass is cracking and the watch is sort of vibrating in the basin, it stops and all the smoke stops and slows and freezes. And Hickory, you kind of glance up at the rest of the tent, sort of expecting it at this point as time has frozen around you. And across from your little altar that you have set up, your little sacrificial altar, is another you sitting crisscross applesauce. It's Meridian.
Hi.
Hi. The names Names are like the thing you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, names. And then there's like a rush as the smoke kind of fills the area around Meridian, and it forms all of these little shapes. These little people sort of moving and walking around. And you watch them split off into other people or reconverge, and you're watching them sort of try and sort together timelines. And they go, I see a woman of blood.
Fuck me. Okay.
She's had several names. She likes to be called Madam.
Like a rush of cold just goes over Hickory's body.
And I don't see a king.
Nobody?
I just see her.
She's pretending to be both.
Quick warning, though. I don't see this ending great, either.
What does that mean?
Every path I see from here forward ends with chaos. You won't get back on your ship with everyone you get off with.
Okay. Thank you.
Meridian.
Yeah,
It's a good name. I still like it.
good.
Oh, sorry about the mixy thing happening.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
Good luck! And then just everything kind of settles back in as the watch just like back into the basin.
Okay.
What'd you see? Or hear? Or learn?
The two people, at least from what I can see, aren't two people. The lady who killed Matthias, who found us, she's the one in Altieri.
Delilah's not gonna like that.
But we need to be careful. Or I was warned that no matter what we do, if we go there, not everyone's gonna survive.
He said we're not all gonna survive.
The exact phrasing was that we won't get back on the ship with everyone we got off with. Every path ends in chaos.
It doesn't technically mean that someone's gonna die. It just means that someone won't leave.
I mean, I'm getting off of your ship with you.
She could teleport wherever she wants. She doesn't have to get back on the ship. I know it's wishful thinking, but it's technically true.
Meridian's tone was not in a way that implied that we were just going to have a temporary guest. And regardless, it's like they said, there may not be a clean ending. We may be found out, or just take a misstep. But I have never heard Meridian say that every path ends badly. There was always a chance.
So what you're saying is the only choice we have is to try to be cautious and pick our own poison. The lesser of all the evils.
The way it's said to me is somebody's gonna die.
Maybe, can you trust the way he said it?
Like I said, it's a new instance. I've heard that there are a million different ways that something goes down, but to hear every path ends in chaos, it's scary.
Well, not to devalue the information that you've been given, but I wouldn't hold on to that with too much of a sour emotion. I mean, yes, Meridian can see into infinite futures. Possibly. Or maybe Meridian has a limited view. If you think about it, Meridian, with all of their future foreseeing, couldn't see you and your brother taking his hands. Couldn't forestall that in any way. Didn't know what was going on there. Something that I have come to terms with recently is that divinity is not omnipotence and omniscience, as we were taught to believe. So, although I respect Meridian's warnings, and I am grateful for their concern, we shouldn't let that hold us back.
And anything that we get into, anything. I have been with you guys for a long time, but everything we gotten into, there was always a chance of one of us dying. If we go in knowing someone will, that might just hold us back. The inevitability will maybe inspire death to us. I think we should look at it the same way we always do. Someone could die, but we should still fight like we always do.
Regardless, what do we do with this information? I mean, as far as I'm aware, it was a gunshot that rang out, and we took care of at least one of the people holding the gun. But Delilah's not going to take nicely, and Fagin, I'm sure that you won't either.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm pissed off. I want to cut her.
This woman seemed like the other two's handler. And it was her idea to put me in that position in the first place. She's willing to get her hands bloody. Even Meridian referred to her as a woman of blood.
It's fine. For every single person you bleed, you die eventually.
Maybe she's like a blood mage,
Maybe.
like a hemocraft.
I guess so. Regardless, I'm sorry that I couldn't soften the blow for you, Fagin, but Delilah's cataclysmic. If we tell her that the person that was responsible for her king's death, we might not be able to hold her back.
She might
Look.
be listening right now.
Yeah. A, she's outside, so I wouldn't be super shocked if she already knew. B, if it comes down to it and we have to let the tiger out of the cage so she can vaporize this lady in half of the council room with her, then so be it. I don't know if I've made it really clear to you all in the time that you've known me, but I'm a little bit unconventional as far as Holdmasters go. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done. And I'm sorry about yelling at you before. Seeing Delilah do it to you kind of put things in context.
It's somebody you love. I did the same thing to my brother.
About your whole prophecy thing.
Yeah.
Me and Aster and my twink and quintet, we did this whole saving the world bullshit. We pulled Tiamat out of the ether to save the world. Now she's just out there causing problems somewhere.
You met Tiamat?
We caused the awakening. We fucked up this entire planet just to buy the Empire and the Westwood what might have been a year. Sometimes you go in and all you have are bad options.
Then I suppose we make the best of what we got.
Like I said, back on the ship. Until we stop, our chances are never zero.
Then let's keep moving forward.
Right.
I'll pack my things. Nalu, you should stay with the men. You should lead them back to Altieri. You shouldn't come direct with us. Like, what do you mean not come direct with? Why would I not come? When he's like, you look at you. You're fucking malnourished. You're not going to do shit in a fight. I can knock you over with a stiff breeze. My men and Antronon's men aren't going to betray you and lock you up like, others might. So, stay safe, okay? If Delilah blows up and all of the other Holdmasters are vaporized, they need one. So, She kind of like nods. All right, let me go meet up with the big guy and make sure all the orders are given. Then we'll go, I guess.
I guess we'll wait for you all, and then we can go back to our ship together.
Sounds great. Always wanted to take an airship.
It's fun.
You've never taken an airship.
Never been to Saracen. It's the only one that flies regular around here.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go talk to Delilah for a second. I'm just walking.
Hush
walks
and,
out of the tent.
Hush and Fagin leave the tent. You'll have a little moment to strategize and think and breathe. Hush, you step out.
Looking for Delilah.
Delilah is over, visible from the front of the tent. She is sitting like cross-legged, just like on a log, maybe 60 feet out front of the tent.
Okay. Hush just like walks over. Just stands in front of her.
Are we going?
Not yet. I wanted to talk to you for a second because I haven't got to talk to you in a couple days. A while, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the best conversationalist right now, Hush.
I'm not gonna ask you for anything. Actually, it's the opposite. He like pulls himself up. Is there another log?
I mean, it's a log. You could just sit next to her further on the
Cool.
log.
He goes, he sits next on the log. It's about the promise that you made to me a long time ago.
Mhm.
I don't want it anymore. You were gone for so long. I don't want the wish. I don't want to put you through that again. And you were away and everything happened. It seems like every single day more things are happening. And more and more. And ever since I broke out of the amber, every single day has just been more and more and more. And this world needs you to be at tip-top shape, and I don't want to take you out of it. So I don't want the wish anymore.
You say I was gone for so long, like it's been months or years, and not like I've been unconscious for a week.
In the time that you were gone, you lost a dear friend. We broke into an unbreakable prison, banished 3 purple worms, traveled across the sea. A day feels like a year.
Maybe you should talk to your time friend about that. See if they can do something to fix it.
Actually, we just talked to them too. Well, Hickory did. They just got some information.
All the power in the world, not a goddamn thing anyone can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Time, space, it's all bullshit.
For a while, I was not really affected by it. I still have a little bit of the other guy in me, but I don't think I'm immune to time travel anymore. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. In every aspect.
I'll give you your wish one day when this is all settled.
It's nothing. I was asking to float. I can probably make up enough money and go buy a broom or something. Or some funky shoes.
I made you a deal. I'm not so much a rat that I'll back out on that, without good reason, at least. Which is why I'll give you your wish later.
Can we possibly talk about the deal? Possibly redo it just a little bit?
Yeah, you want a different wish?
Mm-hmm. I want a different wish.
What's your wish, Ash?
I wish that no matter what happens, you won't lose yourself in the time to come. No matter who is standing up there, no matter what happens, you won't cause chaos that cannot be undone. That's my wish.
You should have seen me during the war.
Probably was really cool.
I mean, the whole reason Fort Dawn's got all those cliffs and that big bay is because I blasted it all away with meteors.
That would have been so cool.
I hear that they tell war stories about it. Not that I sit and listen to them.
I sit and listen to a lot of stories from the others of things that they've done. So I'm mesmerized by a lot of things. Even if they're just stories. I've been asleep for a long time and I've missed a lot.
Took me a long time to get this strong, and I still can't even save one stupid kid.
We're all okay. everything's okay right now. I don't think it's going to be okay for the future, but as long as you keep to my wish, I think things will get better. And I'm holding you to it.
When this is all done, and I have gotten Matthias back and gotten this all straightened out, I'll let you make an actual wish, not whatever sappy bullshit you just told me.
I get 2 wishes?
No, what you just told me is not a wish, it was fucking advice.
Well, I mean, there was more of a favor, but I'll take 2 wishes. As long as you uphold to the one that was just made.
It's not like an actual, you know what, fine.
And I mean, it's not that I can already float. It's just that I can only go up. I've been able to float this entire time, but it's just not like Dolus or like.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you do.
It's not that big of a deal. I promise. That's why.
I'm saying yes. I'm saying you're fine. Stop. Just accept it.
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Not a fucking selfish bone in your stupid squishy little body. And she like punches you in the shoulder. It does not hurt. Delilah is not strong.
Hush like goes to grab his arm, and then he's like, "Oh, I expected you're still recovering."
I'm a wizard.
Yeah, but you're like, okay.
I don't need to work out. I just told you that I destroyed half a city.
I know. How old are you?
Old.
Are you older than me?
Don't fucking ask me. Am I older than you, or am I older than the age you're gonna say you are, so that you feel old?
I am the age that I say I am.
Okay,
I was
look,
there.
An aboleth told you a bunch of stories in your dreams doesn't mean you're actually 1,000 years old. Hush, I hate to break it to you.
But I was there the whole time. This you didn't learn about this. And he holds up the thing. I remember all of it.
No, you're a little cheater.
I remember every moment.
Just read a book. Don't get a magic item for.
Oh no, I do. I didn't. It didn't put new knowledge in me. I just decided that I had all this in me.
How the headband works. Hush.
I remember every moment of the 1,000
years. Delilah shout this at Hush. I know how that headband works. Look at the distance.
I know how it works. But yeah, no, I remember all that. That's how we were able to banish the worms, because I know far too much about all the things that go bump in the night.
Dear God.
And I remember every moment.
Wait, the bird girl had a head. No, tell me you didn't give her. No.
We're the smartest in the party now that Twink's gone.
I don't know if I believe that entirely.
As soon as I got it, I fell down a really long flight of stairs. I'm starting to divvy up the difference between. Is the new
blue one not like a? I thought you said she was a really good caster. Is she not a wizard?
No, she's a warlock of a tendril creature.
God fucking damn it! Can anyone not just open a book?
Well, she's got like a tendril thing. It's like a big. I didn't even know what it was. I thought I knew everything that was crazy. I think Agrahil held that from me though, of what it was. 'Cause I think I know what it is, but I don't think he told me. More tentacles.
Every time I talk to your group, there's just more.
Lotus is smart now, which is cool. She's really smart. And get this. Hickory and Doc, the one that was in there. You know them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had a moment not that long ago where Doc was in Hickory's body.
Actually sits up straight.
Yeah, they had this like weird like position in time where they kind of glitched and ended up in the wrong body. And
Tell me everything you remember about that moment.
I told her everything that I remember about that moment, which is everything.
Fagin returns and collects you guys from the tent. So if you guys want to say goodbye to Nalu or anything, now is the time.
Why not, Lou?
That's her. Okay.
I'm glad we were able to save you.
I appreciate being saved, and I hope all goes well with you in Altieri. Wait, if I'm not there, who is going to convince Alora of all of the things? Fagin's like, shit.
Can you write like a letter?
Can you write us a letter? Can you... I can write you a... Yeah, yes. Would it not be better served to just send messages to me when you get there? Looks at Hush.
I thought I was across the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
Eva.
he turns, he looks out at the tent, way out at you, just... Kid! If I need you to send messages to the cat, can you? Okay.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, we're good. So yeah, no, you stay safe, and then we'll. I mean, Alora will be fine. It's the worst that happens. I mean, the worst that happens is we have to fight her, but that's the worst that could happen. Atronon, do you think we could take Alora? He's like, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Fine. He starts walking, like thinking to himself, like, we'll be fine. You guys make your way back to the airship, now with 2 Holdmasters and Delilah.
Great.
I tell Delilah absolutely everything that happened in that moment to detail.
I have never felt greater fear than knowing that Delilah knows everything about what happened.
Getting back to the airship is fine. Super easy. You guys get back. The twins do not throw the ladder over. And so, like, as you guys all get to the bottom, Lorelai shouts up, just, hey, where's my ladder? As if you need it. We do. Oh, shit. Then just, boom, 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 the ladder rolls out. Fucking... And Lorelai climbs first, and then the 2 Holdmasters after her.
Hickory kind of yells up, would it make you feel better if I actually used it this time?
Yeah, a lot, actually.
Okay.
Lotus doesn't use it and lands beside them, and it's like, it's always the one time you don't, do the thing that you've been doing. I understand. It sucks.
Guess
Why'd
what?
you guys
Anyways.
come back with 4 more?
Look at who they are.
3 more. My bad.
I was like,
at-
wait, is this a Vala situation?
They both look over the side, and they kind of look at each other, and then they look at you, and then just, is that the Archmage?
And then there's like a look of realization and then dread on Lotus's face as she sprints towards Eggold.
You
Perhaps
didn't
I don't-
answer our question. And just kind of look at each
Hide.
other. Like,
Hide!
What? Why?
Archmage is here. She may know that you flipped her off.
Oh my god.
Wait, the Archmage of Eubua is here?
Go. I'm gonna start pushing him into
Why are you hey,
Lorelai's room.
someone's gotta man the shit. You push him to the side. Like shove him into Lorelai's cabin. He's like, hey!
I stand in front of it, hands behind my bag.
I don't use the
Delilah.
ladder.
You fly up with your
Yeah.
I float up as well.
I also just kind of float up.
I float up and then I get to the top and I'm just immediately going back down to the sleeping quarters, back where I left Alina.
I ask before I go up. I asked Delilah if she would like to be floated up.
Yeah, sure.
Just like put a hand on her, and then we both just start floating as I twin spell it.
Like the most dead look on her face as she levitates up next to you. Everybody gets up on the ship. Astronon comes over the side, and Frankie and Felix are like, holy shit, he's big. He's almost as tall as Lachlan. Damn.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. There's probably not a bed big enough for me here, is there? No, like, Lachlan has to sleep up here. Or sometimes in the galley. Usually only when he's drunk.
I like to Lotus's head. I would like to see him arm wrestle Petrie.
That would be amazing.
That would be so cool.
Also, I think Eggle's in danger. I'm hiding
Why?
him right now.
Why are you hiding
Lorelai
him?
up by the wheels, just like, where's Eggle?
Why are you hiding him?
Delilah might kill him.
Why?
It might be my fault.
Wait, what'd you do?
So, he didn't realize who she was and flipped her off once. And then, in trying to save you and not tell anybody, I let her look in my memories and she saw that. So I'm hiding him.
Hide him for a little bit. That's probably a good idea.
Okay, I feel validated now.
I'll try to move her away from that area.
Okay.
It's just an echo chamber with those two.
It's just text messages.
Speaking of Delilah, she goes to the back of the ship, like the raised bit above Lorelai's cabin, and is just kind of like looking out over the railing. The two holdmasters ask Frankie and Felix to give them a tour of the airship. Frankie and Felix, not realizing that they're holdmasters because they're only shocked about Delilah being here and they don't recognize the holdmasters by face, totally accept and are eagerly giving them the tour.
I hope they admit to crimes.
It's Frankie and Felix. They're going to brag about crimes.
Yeah.
Funky and Flex. Let's do this.
I'll go up to the captain's wheel.
It is currently manned by Lorelai, who is looking around like, where the fuck is Eggle?
Do you need help?
Oh no.
Do I need help?
Driving?
I'm an admiral.
Can you teach me how to drive this?
Do you... What?
I want to take Eggle's job.
Now that he's
You want to
dead.
be you want to be the group punching bag?
No. Is that what he is?
Have you not seen the jokes we make about him?
No.
Until these fuckers showed up, everyone called him Goldie.
Now he's Shirley.
Now he's
that
the
is-
Duke of Egg.
That's not his official job, is it?
No, his official job is first mate.
But he can navigate and drive.
Yeah, he's honestly he's a better navigator than me.
Can you show me how to navigate?
Can I show you how to... Have you ever looked at a map?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I guess you're halfway there, so sure, fuck it.
I can sail.
Maps are in my cabin in a barrel next to my desk. Go get one. Get the one of S specifically, since I feel like I have to specify with you.
I'll go in there.
You go in there, and Eggold is just sitting in one of the chairs.
I'll ignore him and no wait. Hi Goldie. And then go and grab
He has the most like, no, how? Like the stress look on his face as you just go grab a map and leave, and he's just like, Door closes. You come out with the map. All right, unfurl it.
like a garbage
Lachlan,
bag.
get the anchor up. Lachlan starts just cranking the anchor up. And she's like, all right. First off, do you know what any of the lines on this map mean?
Well, I recognize. Is there a compass rose or anything like that on?
There is a compass rose.
I recognize this.
Yes. That arrow point north.
It's made of paper, I think.
That arrow point north.
Well, yeah.
That's all you got?
Pretty much.
Longitude and latitude.
I just want to say I appreciate the irony of Annie wanting to become first mate, and just earlier Lorelai was also trying to become Annie's first mate.
But that was a good one. That was a good
one. No, I feel like that was like on stand up.
Annie, with advantage, make a survival check. As Lorelai teaches you how to read fucking maps.
That's what it.
Oh! With your very logical and analytical brain, that just so happens to be stupid. You follow everything. Like you retain the information. Lorelai has thoroughly instructed you how to read this map.
It's pretty simple.
She's gonna spend the first chunk of the flight doing that as you guys take off. Probably the rest of the day, since you guys definitely got back in the evening since you slept through most of the day and then left in the afternoon. So, what are the rest of you gonna do?
I don't know. I'm just busy acknowledging that Annie is the type of person that knows not to put a spoon in the microwave, but not why.
Yeah.
I went down to go see Alina. Is she still asleep?
Yeah. You go down there and she is not asleep. She is currently has a bunch of, she's like sitting crisscross in her bunk, kind of hunched over, which is a bunch of like papers spread out in front of her, and she is just almost like Charlie from Always Sunny, the meme of all of the fucking red lines pinned between things. She has almost started doing that with just a bunch of her notes. And she's like tapping her head as she's going over everything.
Hi.
Hi.
What do you?
How'd it go?
It went good. What are you doing?
Well, at some point I was sitting here and I was feeling a bit better, and I was going over my notes, and I was talking to the frog, and she like gestures to a corner of the bed where there is just Frogillion in his fucking jar.
How's he doing?
He's a frog.
Okay.
And I don't know, I started thinking about Archibald and Martin and Vecnost and how the fuck we're gonna solve all of this, and you guys being technically from the astral plane, because I know we started talking about it when we were talking about banishment, and it was just a lot, so I just started, this gestures to like her weird map of research connections.
And I, looking at it, do I see any... Well, so two things. First, do I see any conclusion ideas she might have that she like hasn't voiced? Or secondly, as I'm looking at the connections she's drawn and the things that she's putting together, am I able to like thinking about it from a different perspective, sort of like maybe I got something that she didn't.
Make an investigation check.
An investigation check. It's a new day. I'm prepared to make 4 rolls for this if I have to.
Lucky points.
First one's an 8. A lucky point. Second one, okay. Investigation 17. I rolled a 16, and I was like, I'll use this one. I have a +1.
As you are going over it, there doesn't seem to be, like, there's no information you don't have, obviously. As she's sort of connecting things, her main notes seem to be like, she has a whole little chunk that are names you guys have told her that Martin used when you told her about the dream. She has a bunch of little notes there that it seems like she's probably dug into her history books to try and pull things up. Along with those names is also Meridian, which in parentheses she has time, and then Archibald with like 3 question marks. As far as you guys go, she has like Simulacra written out. She has various illusion spells written out. She has Banishment written out with 3 question marks, and then in parentheses, test. And then there's another little corner where she's just written out stuff about elementals and then the astral shade, like information about the astral shade.
Look down on it, and not down on it. I look down at it, and just, you want to try banishing one of us?
I mean, I don't know if you'll go to the plane of air, because that's where you were originally from, and also technically where Aarakocra are native to, or if because you're a weird situation, if you'll go to the other plane.
I mean, you can test it on me whenever you'd like.
Are you sure? Because that's like I'm ripping you out of a plane of existence and sending you into another one, and that other one might potentially be either A, the one you're from that has traumatized you, or B, the one you were held prisoner in and then split in and has also traumatized you.
I trust you.
Oh, that's actually really sweet. Okay, I mean, do you want me to just banish you?
Oh, like right now?
I mean, I don't know. I can do it now.
Sure.
Just here in the sleeping quarters?
I stand up, just hold my arms out.
Okay, hang on. She reaches down to her bag and she shimmies through it.
Have we started
Pulls the-
moving yet?
Oh yeah, no,
Shit.
you guys have taken off. You guys take off as they're talking. So, you promise that we're good if I do this, right? Like, this isn't one of those things where you're like, yeah, it's fine, and then, like, we do it, and then afterwards you're like, it's actually less fine than I was fine with.
Please be my guest.
Okay, Dolus, of these 3 things, which do you find the most obnoxious? She holds up like a card, a little leaf twig, and then just a very sort of strangely warped rock. Just trust me, I need it for the thing. Which one do you think is the worst?
I've had more stones thrown at me than twigs and cards, so
Okay. That's a really sad reason. Okay, cool. I'm really sorry, but okay, here we go. She just mutters something in a language you don't know. And are you gonna willingly fail the charisma save?
All right,
So
roll
yeah.
a new character.
You just arms out, and then there is just a, and you are Dolus. You are suddenly. Banishment does always send you somewhere safe, quote unquote, wherever it sends you. So Dolus, you are immediately greeted by this rush of fresh, crisp air. And a plume of wind past your feathers and your face. as you are back in the elemental plane of air. You are standing on a little island of stone that is just floating amidst this sort of familiar miasma of clouds and sky. Smells really nice.
Immediate, like there's like a moment as Dolus was shunted wherever he was gonna go, a part of him almost hoped that it would be the worse of the two options, as sort of like a subconscious want for a punishment of his actions prior. But as he takes in the breath of air in the elemental plane of air, there's a moment where he's just like, oh, okay, nice.
Dolus!
Yeah.
As you are here and you're like, oh, okay, nice. Almost interrupting that thought, there is a tingle that shoots through your arm.
I was about to say, as I fully breathe in and out, gears start turning at the speed of light in my head, and I scream out into the air, Kylie, can you hear me?
Dolus, make an Arcana check real quick.
Okay. Natural 20! Oh, that's a 21.
Okay. It's not what you think it is.
Okay.
It's good you rolled nat 20 though. Your arm, that tingle that shoots up it's almost like there's a send and a receive signal. There's a tingle that shoots up, and then you feel this jolt of pain shoot back down your arm. And it almost brings you to your knees. You watch as your hand, you kind of grab it instinctively, and your fingers almost like turn into wisps of smoke. And you watch as your hand is almost getting like pulled away by the wind, and then you just and it snaps back into position. You're gonna hold it, and before any more can happen or any response can be had or anything can happen, you are back in the sleeping quarters.
As soon as I am back in the sleeping quarters, Alina just sees Dolus almost hunched over, grabbing his wrist like fucking Gladion, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and just, no, it's mine! It's not yours anymore.
Whoa, hey, hi. Are you okay? What happened?
Sorry, yeah, no, I'm fine. It was the elemental plane of air.
Okay, that's good. That's good info. She starts writing it as she looks at you, and you're okay. You're fine.
My arm started disappearing.
Oh, that's what? That's what?
I don't know.
Okay,
That's
weird.
Did the jolt of pain feel like how it would feel when Kaele would
It felt
punish
like
me?
the pain when you try and like make a new limb or completely shift your form.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, but it's not like the pain that like when Kaele would punish me or whatever.
Nope.
My initial thought was that it was Kaele calling me back, or I was brought back to her punishing me and the thoughts that I felt when I didn't understand. But this there was a pain, the same pain that I would feel when I try and stretch out the limits of my self too far, of my shape changing.
And your arm started to vanish.
It started to turn into like wisps of smoke.
Okay, well, no more banishing you. If we do tests, we'll do it on... I mean, if we do it on Twink, he'll just go to... Oh, he would go to the astral plane? Or well, maybe we should do it on Twink, because if he's new, then... And he's from the material plane, then his only options are a weird meta plane constructed of the banishment spell or the astral plane. So maybe because you're an Aarakocra, you default to... Regardless, I'm not sending you back there.
Okay. Well, that was definitely interesting. Something
That's
we should,
concerning.
yeah, probably something we should bring up to the others at some point. But
Probably.
oh, by the way, sorry, got
Mhm.
very sidetracked. Came here to check on you and to let you know what happened. We're going to Altieri.
Okay.
Pagan and Atronon are on the ship.
Okay.
We're taking them there. We're pretending to
Okay.
be their entourage.
Okay.
Apparently, there is a scary lady who is claiming to be the leader of Eubuea
Okay.
and the Archmage there. So, yeah.
Did
No.
we tell Delilah?
I like, as I was saying this, I'm like sitting down next to her and I'm like patting her on the back and I'm like, "Shh. Delilah's on the ship."
Delilah's on the ship. She like immediately starts fussing with her nose and shit.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
I'm a total mess.
That's fine. She's also a total mess. Don't engage with her probably at all right now. She is in you know when you wake someone up and they're like grumpy and they say or do things they don't mean.
Yeah, that plus the whole... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back to my rambling paper stuff then. And spreads all her notes back out kind of awkwardly.
Yeah, great. Yeah, let's look over this. And I'll just sit in my chair that I brought like across the way and look over notes with Alina.
Sick. Dolus, I will say, as you're going over notes with her, she's really getting into it. Every time she's talking and just speaking sort of out loud, she'll either look at you or she'll look at the frog. Like, you get the idea that she's growing attached to just talking to the frog out loud when she doesn't have someone present. And it's now kind of bleeding over into when she does have someone present.
At one point, she looks over to the frog for confirmation. I like furrow my eyebrows. I just stand up. I'll like take the blanket from her bedroll and cover the jar with it.
Oh, no. I don't know if he's afraid of the dark or not.
He killed hundreds of men.
He's just a frog now. What if the frog is afraid of the dark?
I'll uncover the backside of the jar. Okay.
If
I'll
I
look
turned you
in.
into just a frog and you forgot every bad thing you've ever done and who you are, would you want to still be mistreated?
Would you love me if I was a worm?
I was just about to say that.
I would love you if you were a frog.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay.
Show you.
I'll look into the jar. Does the frog look afraid?
He looks like a frog. He does that frog thing where they kind of like put their hands up and they do the weird little like pat, like not knowing where to put their feet. Yeah.
I'll uncover the blanket and I'll pick up the jar and I'll go over and sit back in my chair and I just have it like, in my lap.
Aw, she can talk to you and the frog.
Yeah.
Same brain cell.
Perfect. Hush, Lotus, what are you doing?
Hush is glued to Delilah's heel, but like by like
She
10
stepped on
feet.
She stepped on
She
him
is
like dumb.
sitting on the railing, looking over the back of the railing as the ship is flying away from the autumn forest, and you are just 10 feet away on the railing.
Yeah, he's just 10 feet away on the railing, just like bobbing his head, and occasionally he'll just like let a little with the not whisper, whistle. I couldn't think of the word.
You'll whistle, and she'll like glance over, and then she'll just look back out. Like she won't say anything or respond anyway. She basically like you whistle, and she checks to see if you're like getting her attention, and you're not, and then she just goes back to sitting there.
Yeah, he'll just on occasion just let a little tune, and he just sits there with Delilah.
What about you, Lotus?
She probably goes to say hi to everybody on the ship, and then goes to hang out with Eggold.
You go in and Nagel's like, I can't stay in here for like several days.
Why not?
Mainly because I think Lorelai's gonna throw me out when she comes in here to go to bed.
Okay. And then I'll put you somewhere else.
What does that mean?
What do you think it means? Listen, I just don't want you to die, okay?
I don't think Delilah's gonna smite me, okay, for flipping her off. I think she's got bigger things on her mind, probably. Why is she here?
Because we're going to Altieri.
Oh, okay, cool. We're going to Altieri. I don't even know where the ship is going. I'm the navigator.
Yeah, we're going to Altieri.
Nothing was explained to me. You came to the top deck and shoved me in a room.
We're going to Altieri. That's where we're going. You're not going off the ship.
Why am I not getting off the ship?
I'll explain everything that happened. Like the meeting to him.
You do the whole thing, and then you get to the part about the fucking, like, warning from Meridian about, like, every path ends in chaos, and you won't get back on the ship with everyone you got off with. And you say that to him, and he's like, oh. So if I get off, there's a high chance I die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't let you go alone.
No!
I mean, hang on. The more of us get off of the ship, the higher the chances it's not one of you that dies.
But the more people who get off the ship, the more likely people will die.
This prophecy just says you won't get back on with everyone who got off. So if only one person gets off, they're not getting back on. But if everybody gets off, one of us stays, that's it.
But you still need to get back on the ship. You're the navigator.
And look, man, I mean, Annie could take my job, I guess. She keeps wanting to learn to drive.
Yeah, but Lorelai likes her first mate. I'm just saying you already died once, so you can't die again.
I don't think that's how it works, but all right. If that was the case, you also can't die again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. You don't. But I mean, hey, Hickory and Doc are like the perfect antithesis to this. Hasn't their time dude killed them each like 30 times?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, see, it's fine if I die again. Maybe one more time? Just
No.
so tired.
Finally get some goddamn peace and quiet.
So tired. Fine. Okay. I'll stay on the ship. I'll make sure the ship is fine.
Okay.
Also,
Also,
this
there's-
is some stupid prophecy. They always mean some bullshit.
Yeah, probably. Listen, you just worry about staying on the ship and not being in front of Delilah, who is very not okay.
Okay, but you see, but when Lorelai goes to bed, I have to pilot.
That's why Annie's there.
That was a joke I made previously. Other than me, our options are Frankie and Felix, both of whom I'm sure would commit several war crimes if they had access to this airship.
To be fair, we've already. Would it be war crimes?
Yes, it would be war crimes, or technically. But also, the two of them would just do it for funsies. You
And
do it,
she's
I
a
mean, you
punk.
probably do it for fun also, but you do it for fun when you need to.
I don't know what is considered a crime versus what is considered a war crime.
Usually if it's a normal crime and you do it when you're at war, specifically to someone you're at war with, then it's a war. Usually.
Why are they separate?
I don't know, because you view things a little bit differently when you're actively trying to kill other people.
I can't believe the Geneva Conventions exist in Starlost.
Hey man, war crimes have been a thing a long time before the Geneva Convention. We just wrote them all down. Made a guidebook. I'm sorry. Anyways.
She's in the elf, so she doesn't sleep. But I'm sure it's fine.
Look. I really think the worst thing that happens is she casts some mean spell at me and I have, like, bunny ears for a week or some shit. I don't know.
She put Doc in a little thingy.
And Doc's fine.
He had like a breakdown when we were in Estilgron. I don't think he's okay.
Everybody breaks down sometimes.
I guess that's true.
I'm surprised you guys don't do it more often.
Do we cry when it's over?
It never ends with you guys.
I'm sure it'll end one day. Like when we die.
Oh, I want to get off the ship. Anyways, look. When Lorelai goes to bed, I'll go out, pilot the ship. Delilah decides that today's my day. Today's my day.
Or do you think you should go out now that she's gotten comfortable on the ship, but before Lorelai has gone to bed, just in case?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Lorelai could take Delilah. Don't tell either of them I said that.
I won't.
I think Lorelai could atomize everything within a mile of us. And I think Delilah could do worse. So let's just not put them in a position where they're going to fight over whether or not I continue breathing.
Okay. I just
Okay.
worry.
Fine. I'm fine. I appreciate you worrying. It shows that you're not a complete and total psychopath.
What?
You really like killing people in creative ways.
I mean, gotta spice it up.
Not something a not so psychopath says, which is where the worry comes from.
It's fine.
We have gotta get me a book about therapy, because I'm the only fucking one you talk to, and I don't know what to do about this.
Wonder if Elena has him. I'm gonna go ask her.
I don't think Alina, of all people, has any knowledge about therapy.
You know, if Elena and Twink make a school, on Twintania, right?
Hmm.
Do you think if you weren't a navigator, you would be a therapist on Twintania?
I think I would rather die.
I think you would rather die than do a lot of things.
That's really true. So I don't really know, I guess. For now, you want to play checkers?
I don't know how to play. Teach me.
Okay, I'll teach you how to play checkers. Annie is being taught how to navigate, and then given a basic rundown of how the levers on the ship work. Lorelei does not let you touch the fucking helm. You get the passenger seat driver's ed experience. Dolus and Alina go over their notes. Hush hangs out with Delilah. Lotus learns how to play checkers with Eggold. Hickory, last but not least, what are you up to during this time?
You know, I'm pretty sure that I was just told that no matter what, somebody's gonna die. So I'm gonna go hang out with Nori. Let's just go have happy fun times for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Nori's just hanging out in the galley. She's currently like doing inventory with a bunch of boxes in the big mamba. Alchemical ingredients, bandages, and all the like. She's just doing the nurse thing. So you come and
Fair
sit down. Hi.
Never a dull moment.
How are you doing?
Good. We're going to Altieri.
Not a place I ever thought I would go.
I didn't think I would ever go back.
Is it nice?
It's actually really nice. It holds a little different context given everything that we know now, but as far as infrastructure and stores...
I mean, I'm an elf from the Westwood. Altieri is kind of like... How do I word this? It's the house of my greatest enemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if you were walking into Martin's house.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess so. But I meant it as like a metaphor for like my people.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've kind of been at war with the Westwood or with the Empire for a long, long, long time.
Wait, who is this?
Like
Nori?
Sorry? Oh, it's Nori, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, even when we were getting along, we weren't really like getting along. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not to say elves from the Westwood don't go to the Empire, but like, we don't normally like go straight to Altieri for like big things. We usually go on like a mission. Go
Yeah.
with like ambassadors. There's like a thing.
I heard
It's
that
not like we just go walk around.
I heard that one of the folks that used to travel with everybody, he used to be a professor there.
Socrates.
Yeah.
Socrates was older than me, so not significantly older than me. He and Tacity, and you've met the other guy.
Runner?
Starts with a P.
No. Petrin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Amalier, yeah. They were all same year, so so they're all roughly the same age. Give or take like I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Right.
They all got put into school at the same time.
Right. There is definitely just like gears turning in Hickory's head as she is just because like she's always accepted that one of them could die, but like in her head she's never had confirmation that it's like, you go do this, somebody's gonna die. And so she just kind of has this moment to where she's fumbling over her words and she's just like, Nori.
That's my name.
Everything is scary. And
Bit of a bleak outlook to have, but okay.
I don't know what the next few days are gonna bring. Things keep getting more complicated and scarier. And sometimes it just feels like we don't have any clue what's going on.
Imagine how we feel, like staying here on the ship.
Yeah. But I think you're really nice. And you take care of everyone, and I don't know.
You've never done this before, have you?
No. I was raised in a clergy.
Humans are silly.
Yeah. I just hope that I can always come back to see you again.
Always is a big word, especially for someone who only lives like 100 years.
There's just an immediate, like, just defeated head drop, and she's just like,
I'm not saying no. I just think right now you're in a weird sort of woe-begotten end of the world, I'm going to die sort of mood. And I mean, no offense to you or lesser-lived races, but worrying about tomorrow isn't exactly something elves do when we live for a millennium. So, take a deep breath and help me do inventory, and maybe try and ask me out again when you're not just doing it because you think you're going to die tomorrow.
okay.
Might work for some people, doesn't work for the doctor.
Yep. Hickory is just like red, like just beat fucking red.
I love that she said that like she's fucking like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Doesn't look on the Doctor.
Yeah.
Doesn't work on the doctor. Also, and I'm totally no offense to you because you're great. Still not going to guarantee a yes because sometimes you're your brother, which complicates a relationship.
That's understandable. Like, she just kind of has this like defeated trail off of like, yeah.
Not a no. And you're cute as far as human girls go. I'm not used to being around people who aren't elves, so I'm still adjusting to some of the unique things that other races do.
Yeah.
Like the kid who has gills. I don't think that's normal though.
That's
but again,
not
I get all my
normal.
information like third hand, not even like second hand. Like Alina gets a lot of the information second hand and then tells me, which means it's like third hand information.
Okay, well, I'll tell you more stuff. What are we keeping inventory of? Like, just immediately shrunken back into herself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, come on. Just hand me stuff. I'll write it down. We can talk.
Okay.
She just starts doing inventory with you, talking to you. She's not like, she's completely nonplussed. Like you are
sure.
like, you're embarrassed and you feel almost rejected, but not quite, which is even more confusing.
Yep.
And then you're also thinking about the fact that you might die. And then she brought up Doc, so now you're thinking about the body swapping and the
Yep.
blending and all that.
Yep.
So you have a million thoughts going through your head. Nori is completely unaffected by this.
Yeah,
She's
that's
just
about what I
chatting
expected.
with you
Yep.
and doing inventory.
Shout out to Buy Disaster Hickory, just absolutely fumbling that.
It's the meme where it's like, the worst she can say is no, Nori. Sometimes you're your brother.
Yeah.
I am not going to ask for any specific conversations, but I will ask, is there any specific stuff you guys want to do over the course of the next day and a half as you are traveling? Is there anything you want to practice or little bits and forth back? Probably not going to dive into full-blown conversations, but it's a good moment to... All right. We're going to go Pulse first.
Throughout the whole driving lesson, just have a little what the fuck is the spell? Minor illusion wheel that she's kind of spinning, just
You're
sort of
practicing.
Yeah, the whole time.
It's awesome.
What'd you say, Kay?
I said that's awesome.
Oh, that is not what I thought you said.
What did you think I said?
Pulse, play rollies with me.
Let's go. 18?
I rolled 11. All right.
Oh hell yeah!
You are doing a pretty good job of mimicking Lorelai. She corrects you here and there, but overall, you're pretty solid. Eventually, it reaches the point in the evening where Lorelai's like, "I gotta get some sleep." Well, not got to, but I want to. So I'm gonna turn in. I'm gonna find Eggold, and then I'm gonna turn in. Don't. You've been doing pretty good. So until I find Eggold over the next few minutes, while I walk away to go find Eggold, you can stand here and hold the helm steady. Steady. You don't...
No full throttle, no...
We're already on course. We're going at a good speed. You can hold it steady.
Alright.
Can you do that?
She already is holding on to it. Steady. Steady enough.
Steady. Yeah, no, you're... perfect. Fantastic. Just... I'm gonna go find Egg. Peeks into her captain's cabin because she has the nose of a dragon. And immediately is just like, Eggold, are you fucking in here? And she just sees you and Eggold with checkers. Just, oh my god.
Hi.
Why are you goofing off on the job? I'm not goofing off. I'm avoiding an archmage that might mommy dead. What? Lotus. Why?
I was protecting him.
Well, the archmage has been staring wistfully off the back of the ship for several hours with barely any motion. Think you're fine. I want to
Okay.
go to bed.
Okay.
So, unless everyone's going to join me, get out.
Does that mean I get to cuddle with you sometimes?
Sure, I don't care. I'm going to sleep.
Okay. Not tonight. Another night. Take the night.
Okay, fine. You run out. Eggold goes to walk out and she's like, I don't know what I just agreed to. And then she just goes to bed. Eggold approaches Annie at the wheel and is like, hey, stop, I'm taking this.
Okay.
You're doing good.
Oh, cool.
Do you illusion again as he gets onto the wheel?
Yeah.
You do it and he kind of looks at the wheel the wheel you conjured up and then looks at you. Messes with one of the levers to see if you copy him. Does a little whoom whoom. Okay. Goes to flying. All right.
So you're taking off where she left off, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm here now until she wakes up.
No, I
make
mean
sure
in
that,
teaching
you know-
me.
Lorelai! What? Why? Just silence. He's like, she needs to learn to say no to pretty people. Okay, yeah, sure, fuck it, I guess. What we're gonna do now is something I call the half asleep.
What's that like?
It's what I'm doing right now. He's just standing there, like holding the wheel, staring like half dead at the horizon. And all right, Hush, what do you want to do? You had your hand up.
At a point, he would get up and go and ask probably Lachlan for some lumber and string.
Lachlan can provide you a pair of boards and a rope.
Can I?
Unless you're willing to settle for fishing line.
No. Can I like unravel the rope into smaller strings?
Yeah.
Cool.
Take you some time, but you can do that.
Yeah. And in times where he is not shadowing Delilah, he is carving new things.
Delilah is like unmoving from the position she took at the beginning of the trip.
She go to bed?
She's definitely not going to go to bed before you have to go to bed.
Okay. At a point, he'll get up and be like, I gotta go do something for a little bit, but I'll be back before we go to bed.
All right.
Then I go get the lumber, and I'm gonna start carving new trinkets for everybody.
Okay.
I'll do that over. I'll have times where I shadow Delilah, and then other times where I go and carve trinkets over the next 2 days.
I mean, you can carve trinkets while you're near Delilah. She's like up on an open space away from people.
You
I would like to
not
do
be
that.
carving trinkets over there.
I would like to carve trinkets near
Fucking
Delilah.
carving trinkets over there, or I'll kill you.
He uses his like summonable daggers and just starts carving trinkets.
Sick. Tell me the trinkets you're carving.
Do I have enough time to get everyone?
You'll have a day and a half. So yes.
So yes. Get back to me on that.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that. Lotus, you had your hand up.
Yes.
You learned how to play checkers, by the way. With 19 int, you learned really easily.
Yeah.
Actually, play rollies with me.
15.
5. You beat Eggled a fair number of times, actually.
Haha! Sucker. On one of the days, I want to spend some time with Dolus and just kind of hang out. And
On one of the day.
one of the day,
It's
yeah.
a day and a half. So.
On one of the day, I just want to hang out with Dolus. You know, just vibe, talk about things that, like, don't really have to do with anything that we're gonna be doing.
Oh, I definitely tell Lotus for next time I see her about what happened with the banishment thing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool,
me becoming wisps of smoke. Was I turning into like smoke or dust?
You were turning into like smell like clouds, like vapor.
Okay.
You were not Thanos dusting.
And then I'm going to also take the opportunity to spend a little bit more time with the Astral Bolt.
Okay. Make your lovely little fear save.
Ooh. 21.
The DC gets lower and your rolls get higher.
Let's go.
Your hands are still a little shaky, as is pretty natural, but you are getting better at throwing the Astral Bolt. You are still not attuned to it, so Alina is the returner.
Mhm.
So if you ask, she just like whispers the word and summons it back.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Hickory, anything you are doing
Yeah.
during the passing of time?
I think Hickory, kind of out of paranoia, spends a lot of time like checking in with Atronon and Fagin and kind of seeing like where they're at with the plan, if there's anything she can help with, and coordinate with everybody else. But over the course of like the day and a half, am I Hickory the entire time?
Good question. Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
Mentally, you are Hickory the entire time. You definitely wake up the next morning as Hick in Doc's body.
Great. Phenomenal. And that's the day. Wait, so do we lose another day? Like, one more day will rotate before we are in Altieri?
You will go to bed and wake up one more time. But
Okay.
then that next day you will get there.
So I guess that's a good amount of the day. Is it at that point? Fuck it, we're gonna feel it out. There's no point in trying to rotate. So it's kind of trying to figure out the bounds.
As Doc?
Yeah, which is
All right.
probably weird for the rest of the party, but they need to figure it out.
So
Yeah.
do you want me to call you Hickory or?
Just don't refer to me by name today, okay?
Them. Like Alina just immediately points at you.
I like that one. Or sorry, I like that one. But so basically, over that like day and a half, despite the fact that she is Doc, Hickory kind of consults with Doc in the brain. One, a little bit about like how this is functioning on Doc's end.
Mm-hmm.
And two, consulting with him on how to write Nori a letter that basically it takes like most of the day, but like so
Aw.
on the day, and she just kind of gets it ready, but for sake of just kind of skipping through it, the note's basically just gonna say something along the lines of I know I absolutely fumbled it the first time, but I would like to see you again. Elves last a long time, longer than flowers and most trees. But I know metal sticks around for a while, and she's going to kind of package that up with the little dragonfly that she's kept from Iceholm. And at the very end, she'll say, always was really overdramatic, but I will come back next time.
Nice. Very nice.
And she will hold on to that until they are basically like the morning that they're leaving.
Okay.
Or Doc will hold on to it. Regardless, it will be left for Nori.
It will be in between possessions and
Yes.
left when you guys leave for Altieri. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
In that case, all that's left is Dolus. Dolus, you got anything during travel?
I think maybe we should call them. Maybe we should come up with like a name for them, like when it's mixed.
Maybe not, because it's still technically Hickory or Doc, just in a
It could be like a nickname.
Hey, Doc. Hit
Hawk.
Clock.
clock. I don't know about bringing that up to them, though. I feel
I'm just
like
going to
they
assume
might
I'm
take
not
it
present
back.
for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah.
In my time, I'll definitely stick around Alina. I'll ask her about So the mud throwing incident with Dolus a couple sessions ago got him interested in elementals and elemental magic, and so he'll sort of ask Alina how she channels that sort of energy, and to go over with her like what kind of stuff she knows.
You're like I threw the bottle and I summoned an elemental, and now I'm kind of interested in how that magic works. And she's like, like you have triggered a hyperfixation, and you have given her full permission to ramble about it, and she will. So that is, she goes absolutely into that.
And then at a different point, I will, like, until she feels like 100% ready to like get out of bed and be doing everything on her own. Like, I'll like bring her food and etc. You know,
she definitely gets up and is begins being mobile again during this time. She's had healing magic and poultices and stuff. Like, she's fine. She's also realistically had just as much damage happen to her before. And recovered.
It's about the
in
principle
about the
of
same
it,
time.
though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, and she appreciates it. She definitely gets out of bed for helping Lotus practice with the Astral Bolt because, you know, she calls it back.
And then I'll, at various points, like, I'll check in on everyone.
Annie is almost always by the helm,
I'll
mimicking
see,
whoever's there.
I see Annie like is like always up there, and I'm like, God damn it! And I'll go up there. I walk around to the front of you, Annie. Like, look over. It's like, have you moved?
I'm going to crash if you don't move out of the way.
You're not driving.
Dolly, she can't see if you're standing in front of her.
I am on to the side. I kind of like move out of her periphery.
Wait, so what do you do when a bird gets in the way like that? Like, you just run into them?
Well, if it's one of them, you ask them to move. If it's like a flying bird, I mean, my current record is I get hit in the face with it, but if you dodge, you dodge.
Do you know magic at all?
Do I? No.
I should probably Eldritch Blast something with them when they get in the way while I'm here.
Oh,
did you need something?
Dolus like waits until they're done talking, and then like Annie is just sort of standing there, manning her ship, and Dolus has this thought, and he's like, "Oh man, she probably hasn't left to eat today. You know, maybe she needs some nutrients." And I'll craft a slice of bread, and, you know, maybe sprinkle some sugar on it. I'll put it in Annie's mouth while she's like doing it, and so she just has like the anime slice of toast like falling out of her mouth, the little sugary bread.
Do you ever like eat like a fancy steak or anything while you're up here?
I just walk away.
I mostly eat whatever just Walk makes, which is usually stew, but I guess if I had to pick something to eat up here, it'd be a sandwich.
I'll make Eggled a sandwich.
Oh my gosh, you're great. Thank you.
Can I also have a sandwich?
Sorry, I just ran out of... Dolus feels
revenge
bad.
plot.
He like ran out of free cast ability of it, and then he feels bad. So I use
He's like, you'll pause, and I'll be like, you ran out of magic?
I make a sandwich.
Oh. Cool. Well, wait, now I'm occupying two hands. Wait. I just stuffed it in her mouth.
A whole
Tries
sandwich or
to-
the slice
yeah,
of bread?
The slice of bread.
Okay.
Just trying to like eat it while she's like driving.
Imagine Annie just like Shaggy and Scooby Doo like puts the whole sandwich in her mouth. Okay, I'll leave her to her devices.
I think the funniest concept is Annie has Mage Hand.
Yeah, no, but she needs to focus.
Oh, I
She's
know.
using her
But I just
concentration
think
on the
that's
minor
really
illusion
funny
wheel.
that this person who has Mage Hand just shoves the whole thing in their mouth.
Wait, so is Annie actually driving the ship right now, or is she still on her minor illusion wheel?
She's on her illusion.
Okay. Yeah, then she can't mage hand, yeah. She's focusing on one thing already.
It's not.
Alright, moving on.
And, I think that's probably all. I mean, I'll like do vague check-ins with Fagin and Atronon and Delilah to see like what they're doing and like that they're accommodated for, as well as not like, you know, like if they have anything they want to talk about, like with like plans and whatnot. Otherwise, we just chill.
Got it. Okay, so we're gonna do a fun little fast forward then. Over the course of the 2 days, you guys, Hush is either whittling or hanging out. You all have little moments where you hang out and chat. The
I
second
have
day,
my whittling list done.
Hickory is stuck in Doc's body, spends time practicing with spells and abilities and trying to figure out how it works. Is very uncomfortable the whole time.
Wait, that means Aldrich is hanging out with Hickory.
Oh, it does! You can summon Aldrich. I mean, you haven't summoned him because if you think about it, you can summon him.
Yeah. I think that would be something as they realize that their spells follow the body, but their Hickory would just be like, can I? And then
Yeah, you summon Aldrich.
yeah.
He's happy to see you. He hasn't seen you in like a month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. So
He only gets to experience life with Doc now. Like,
I
it
guess
was the
part
two
of
of
the
you.
day is just them chat. I like to believe that Hickory and Aldrich have a much less like.
Oh
much
yeah, they're way less
banter.
back and forth.
So they're basically
It's mostly
over
them making
tea.
fun of Doc.
Yeah.
Perfect. As far as your guests go, Delilah is at that spot the entire trip. The only time you would catch her not looking over the railing is when she is trancing, where she turns around, puts her back to that railing, and trances, like just sitting there. She does not leave. Dolus is nice and visits her, and she absolutely says yes when he offers food. But she's
Always within 10
not really
feet.
here to talk or hang out. She doesn't explore. She doesn't vaporize Eggled. In fact, she probably doesn't even see him once.
She doesn't know who Eggold is.
She definitely remembers Eggled, but she is just...
No.
She's
In
doing
my
the
head
widow's
canon-
walk sort of moment.
Just telling the DM no is crazy.
No.
She definitely remembers him. No.
You're wrong.
No.
I
Pull that the
reject
next
your
time.
Modify
Krause
memory.
The next time Krause says he's killing me, I'm just gonna no.
And I'll just go, okay.
Yeah.
Right click disconnect from call.
Fagin and Atronon really enjoy hanging out with the group. Fagin gets along really well with Frankie and Felix, actually. He said it himself before, and you guys have gotten the idea. Fagin is, if I were to give Fagin a class of some kind, he's definitely a rogue, like, ranger mix. So he gets along well with the two little criminals. Atronon gets along really well with the Westwood folk because he knows them. He kind of spends some time catching up with a lot of the people who only kind of vaguely remember him because he left the Westwood when he was pretty young, and he is a half-elf, so he was not around a long time. But he talks about the Westwood and various people he remembers. They mostly get. It's kind of like he's reconnecting with his roots, sort of a trip for him, talking with all of them. Yes, Kay.
I just remember. I'll confirm with Alina. I'm assuming she wouldn't be too opposed, but just like if I'll extend to Atronon that if he wants to send any messages to Archibald, that he can ask Alina and she can do a sending.
He would absolutely take you up on that, and he basically just sends like, again, big brother, like, I love you, I'm glad you're safe stuff. From what he responds back, Archibald is still safe in Twingtania. Apparently Twink has been on and off the island a bunch doing stuff with Arlashna and Illis. And so he has kind of had free reign of your guys' house. And he is apparently getting very bored. But bored is better than danger, so he's okay with it.
Okay.
At one point into the second day, so the morning, number one, Hick or Doc.
Give me a normal one.
Hick. Just Hick.
Well, it's a plot day, boys!
Hick, you wake back up in your body.
Great.
Someone else wakes up also. Aster.
Oh, shit!
Oh.
Oh, we brought her
Aster
with us. I figured she was going to stay with Nalu.
Wakes back up.
They're gonna say Doc in someone else's body. And I was like, wait, who's?
That's a crazy glitch!
You guys, as you guys are waking up, Fagin is in there, already awake. Still clearly having woken up soon, trying to like kind of calming Aster down as she is like up and clearly panicked as she is waking up here. And so we're going to kind of snap back into time as you guys are not far from Altieri. Maybe an hour out at most. And Aster has woken up. And so you're all sort of woken up by the sounds of this panicked elf and Fagin trying to calm her down.
I'll make a glass of water for her.
She's almost like panting. She is like freaked out. Fagin slowly hands it to her. It's a drink. Kind of looks out at all of you.
It was poisoned. No,
Hello.
I...
Hi, good morning.
Fagin, dear, where am I? You're on board an airship on its way to Altieri, and these are my new friends. This is the finest. Hello. Why am I not back in my apartment in Saraisen?
Is that the last thing you remember?
Yes, we had our feast. We had the celebration feast in Altieri, and then I said goodbye to you and the others, and I got on the airship to Saraisen. And I got home, and the place was a mess, and the plants. And then No. There was someone in my house. In my apartment, there was someone in my chair. She was, a lady, white hair, and she said really nice things.
Did you happen to get her name?
No, and then I was... And then it was cold. And that was it. That's all I remember.
Well, for now, just focus on getting better, feeling better. Fagin, do you want to tell her?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
she
I got this.
Yeah.
Wait, if we were in Saraisen, did someone water my plants?
I'm sorry. When we got there, they were all dead.
Oh,
Except for the cacti.
of course.
They were hanging in there.
Yeah. I have a green thumb, but they're the only ones that stay alive.
Damn.
You do live in a desert, dear. Fagin sort of begins explaining everything to Aster while you guys are kind of like prepping yourselves for arrival.
Yeah, Hickory kind of pulls the party away a little bit and just has a moment of just like, white hair, it's probably Madam Tithe.
Yeah.
Which means this web only goes deeper.
Hickory, do you have like an ability to make an illusion?
Not really.
Oh, Hickory. Let me in your mind.
Go for it. Just don't let it hurt.
Why would it hurt?
I don't know.
Remember her exactly how you saw her.
I will. It is burned into my mind, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
Hush.
have one hand out detecting thoughts, and another hand with a minor illusion.
All right, you detect thoughts, and then you make a minor illusion of Madam Tithe.
Hush, it is not just like an image of Madam Tithe. You are basically reliving what happened to Hickory.
For the moment, like the thing kind of like the illusion, he's trying to broadcast it like continually, but the illusion starts to kind of glitch a little bit. And he's just like,
Yeah, that's her. That's the woman.
Hey, Cryo,
Yeah.
what does Madam Tithe look like?
Oh yeah, this is like, I mean, I think we did this minor illusion trick once previously.
Did we?
I thought we did, but regardless, Madam Tithe, very trim, very well dressed, elvish pointed ears, white hair. She has very, very distinctive red, like blood red eyes. She's wearing a nice wide brimmed hat. And the illusion is kind of moving because Hush is pulling it from a memory. And so her movements are really sort of graceful, and there's sort of a fluidity to it. Like all of her movements are very calculated and smooth.
Fagin.
She looks not young, but not old. She's like early middle-aged, probably. I mean, she's an elf, so she definitely appears a little bit older than you'd expect. Like definitely an older-looking elf. But if she was human, she wouldn't look at like a day over like 38.
Fagin. That's your woman. Both instances.
Cool. More reason to kill her.
drops the illusion.
You've been asleep for almost a year, Aster. As Fagin and Aster sort of deal with the...
I'm
The
standing
shock.
behind Fagin the whole time, re-pouring this glass of water.
She is told like the whole story basically, and she is like, she is clearly on like the verge of like vomiting several times in shock.
Right.
But she holds it together. As the more awake she gets, the more sort of stable she gets. And from all of your insights, basically you can sort of gather that, I mean, like Fagin, she's a pretty seasoned adventurer. Like, don't get me wrong, this is sort of fucked up and it gets to anybody, but after she lets it breathe for a minute, she's kind of gathers herself and is like, I need a staff.
What for?
I can't cast without a staff.
What? Wait.
What does
She
she
kind
need
of like
to do?
swings her legs out of bed, and Fagin's like, oh, hey, whoa, whoa.
Casters need a focus, Lotus.
I mean, right, but that's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is, shouldn't she be resting? She
I
just
have been
woke up.
asleep for a very long time, and I don't want to just keep being asleep. If the woman who did this to me is currently causing more problems, I mean, the quintet's all about sort of saving the world. Has that changed since I've been unconscious too? Fagin's like,
What the fuck? She's
Cryo-
badass!
Cryo, does
Lotus.
Aster look malnourished or like have any physical
Aster looked
effects?
fine. Aster looked like she was like, Aster got
Preserved.
sleeping beauty. Aster looked a perfectly preserved and sustained.
Let me check the hold. Maybe we got something while we were dealing with that other ship.
Trying to fix my hair.
Hickory goes down and sees if she can find some sort of quarterstaff or something that she deems could be used as a focus.
I mean, there's definitely a fucking quarterstaff somewhere down there amidst all of your other spoils of war.
Yeah.
There's a stick.
Yeah. So Hickory picks the one. If there are multiple, she just kind of picks the nicest looking one and goes with it.
Okay, you bring her a nice wooden staff, a nice polished one.
If you want like designs on it, Ashir's a talented woodcarver.
I'm sure you are, but and she taps the staff down. And she uses Druidcraft, and you watch as on the top of it, just a bunch of flowers and plants sort of bloom out of the top of this staff, and it all kinds of molds together into the top of it.
Whoa.
I can't do that.
Maybe one.
It felt like I was in Altieri just yesterday.
Well, good
Yes.
news. You're gonna be there today.
Yesterday, a year ago.
That was... Can't imagine... You can't imagine how it feels to wake up and just be in a different day.
Hi.
Yeah, no.
It's
I guess
weird.
everybody can imagine what it's like to wake up in a different
No,
day. I guess
it's-
that's kind of how
No,
some
we
live.
get it.
No, I'm, never mind.
Literally everyone except Annie, actually.
She only
Guys,
got-
gather
Does
on the
Annie
top
ever
deck.
leave the top deck? Does she trance up there? Or does she come down to the sleeping hold?
She trans up there.
Of course.
Oh my god, you just trance with whoever's on the fucking deck at the time.
Yeah.
That's so Annie.
We check on
Annie,
Annie.
everybody-
And she has like fucking. There's like the eye gunk buildup.
Oh,
That's what you call hyperfixation. Holy crap.
Her hair is like permanently frozen in like the position of it being blown back by the wind.
Oh my God. As you guys all gather on the top deck, spread out before you is the city of Altieri. It's very fun because this is the first time in main campaign I get to describe it. The Stonekeeper mountain range is large. Some of the biggest mountains you guys have seen. They are not quite on the scale of Ravenloft, because that is genuinely some of the biggest mountains on the planet. But they are still towering mountains capped in snow. Even here on your airship, you have to look up to see the tops of these mountains. Out all around you in every direction are the Great Plains of Esp, which are farmlands and prairies as far as the eye can see until you reach the horizon. And to the north, you can see a great massive bay. And to the south, just at the very edge of your vision, sort of turning back into fog, you can see the mountains that separate Saracen from the center of the continent. And then as you look down at the city in front of you, it is... How do I describe this? Structure-wise, imagine like a 3-tiered cake. It has been cut in half and pushed up against this mountain. So you see a huge ring at the bottom that is what we all above the table know as low tier. And low tier is full of houses and warehouses and factories and structures. And you see rivers going into it and roads and everything. And then there is the mid tier, which you guys see up this huge vertical wall to the second tier. And there again, there's more housing, but now there are fancier buildings and there are flags of the Empire flowing over this level. And at the very last, you have high tier. And high tier is significantly smaller than the other two. It is dominated really heavily by what is the empirical sort of castle in the center of it. But then you see all of these other very nice homes and structures. There is another very large building, which Alina would point out to all of you is the Academy of High Magic. Altieri dwarfs any city you have seen before. In pure square miles, it is wider than the city of Fort Dawn, which was your previous widest city. And vertically, it is, to put it into real-world perspectives, you could fit the Empire State Building in the height of Altieri, from low tier to high tier. It is thousands of feet from the base to the very top of the capital. It is the greatest feat of engineering any of you have ever laid eyes on. There's this sort of moment of awe as you look at it, as you really process the fact that the Empire has been around for thousands of years. Thinking of it strategically, you kind of look at it and you realize, even if somebody were to attack this city and somehow get into low tier, they would have to somehow get up the hundreds of feet of stone to get to mid tier, and a successive other hundreds of feet of stone to get anywhere near high tier. And that's after they fought through the entire swath of the city before they hit the walls. It is a fortress of a city. And it is just built into... It takes up like a solid third of this mountain, height-wise.
How do people usually get between these tiers?
They don't.
No, there's stairs, like lifts.
You know, I don't know, I expected some higher form of transportation than stairs, but...
I was thinking, like, maybe they just cast magic, like flying magic, And then you
I mean, if you have flying magic.
wild.
They have these really big sort of lift things that they use for like bringing materials up to the mid and high tier.
Hmm.
Sometimes you can hitch a ride on one of those if they're not full. That's probably the easiest way to get up and down.
I see.
So where are we going to be going?
Fagin, who's there with Aster and you, and then Atrodon comes up to join you. He just points. He's like, very top.
Huh.
Cool.
Technically speaking, we're going to the airship landing, which is his finger goes down the big wall from top tier to mid tier, and right at the base of that wall is like a bigger structure. It looks like a big train hall, like what we would expect for like a modern like train hall to be. And he's like, that's the airship landing. Takes you to the very top of mid tier. Normally you go down from there, but we get to go up. And before anybody worries, we're hold masters. We don't have to ask for permission to use the lifts.
Got it.
I didn't
Oh,
really spend a
sort
lot of
of.
time in mid tier. I was mostly just in and out of the city.
You're about to see the high life.
I slightly jokingly call out as we hear that. Just, you hear that, Annie? Don't miss the docks.
I've got us here safe the whole way. I've got this.
Eggold, who's actually navigating with Lorelei next to him, is just like, doing great, kid. Kid who's definitely older than me.
Annie has just completely disassociated from reality.
Pulse isn't a part of this campaign anymore. Pulse is playing fucking airship simulator.
Microsoft Airship Simulator.
Bane and Astronaut turn towards you guys and they're like, all right, well, so. General rule of thumb, since you guys aren't all licensed, throw on your disguises until we at least get sort of our heads on straight. Stay behind us.
You think we
Try
can
not to
get
do too much.
licenses?
Talking. What?
Do you think you could get us licenses?
Atronon, you're our resident getting unreliables handled person of you and me. Can we do that? I mean, it's a bit of a paperwork process. Yes. And then most unreliables just don't want to stay here because of, I mean, the racism. Let's be real.
Right, but having a license better than not having one.
It's true. I mean, we could always start the paperwork. We're hold masters, so we could probably get it through for you, but it's up to the council at the end of the day. We don't get to make the final call on that.
Oh, who's on the council?
A lot of people.
Like how many?
Anywhere between 50 and 100, depending on political season.
Why do they need so many people?
Every tier gets several representatives, as well as people who are outside of the city getting several representatives. And then it gets into a lot of back and forth.
No, they have an electoral college.
They have a senate. They have a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. It's just...
So,
God, I can't believe I'm a fucking old master for this system.
and so, I mean, I'm sure it's been said, but so who is currently in charge?
That would be the Empress. Empress Terralon, Nolan's widow.
Right. And is she a good person?
I mean, I like her, but she's a really stubborn dwarf.
Ah.
Can
So,
she fight like Matthias?
And the Empress like,
Why are they laughing at me?
I know it's
These are questions.
no, she can't. She and Nolan could. I mean, there's a reason Nolan got. That's too soon. That's too soon. I might not have liked him, but that's too soon. Yeah, no, she can't really fight.
Got it. So
Okay.
is she somebody that needs to be protected if things go wrong, or
Yeah,
wouldn't-
well, that's why the
Oh.
Nightingales are there. So
Yeah. The what?
the Nightingales, they were with me when I was with, protecting Nolan.
I thought they were
Oh, I
called the
wasn't paying
Starlings.
Don't think so. Am I wrong?
I'm pretty sure.
I remember them being called the
I
Starlings.
also, because I thought that they were the Starlost.
They were. Oh, yeah, maybe they. Maybe I'm getting them mixed
Uh-oh.
up with something.
Uh-oh.
I'm double checking my notes. Hang on. And then I'm double checking your guys' notes because I might have just used the wrong name earlier and now I have to commit.
I mean, you don't have to commit.
Well, if it's Fagin saying it, Fagin kind of has to say it again.
Well, no, he doesn't. He can retcon.
It's all right. We got this.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
They are the
bullshit.
Starlings. They are the Starlings.
Run it back.
Oh, I see where I got mixed up in my notes.
We're
Okay.
the Nightingales.
Are the Starlings the correct name,
worry about it.
or
We'll worry about. Yeah. Well, they weren't, but they are now. I'm just switching the names. So we're
Okay.
good.
You can. Okay.
It's fine. We'll keep
Alright.
internal continuity.
Okay.
Yes. Well, that's why the Starlings are there. That's what Fagin says. He's like, that's why the Starlings are there.
Oh.
what are Starlings?
Dola still asks, who are the Starlings?
You met a bunch of them. The guards who were with me when we were in Midnori.
we didn't really talk to them?
Yeah, I was not.
Well,
paying
yeah, I didn't think you talked to them, but it's those guys in the special armor that looks neater and fancier than a normal guard.
attention.
They're the Emperor and the Empress's personal guard.
Hmm.
Normally, they never leave the city unless they're going with the Emperor or Empress someplace.
They did a real.
They don't
bang-up
even
job.
leave top tier. They stay on top tier.
I. Hickory is like, they did a real great job. I like lean to her in a second. I'm just like, oh, maybe don't make jokes about that. It was my, I technically was the one who killed the Emperor.
On paper. I know you weren't actually the one who did it. Unless it was other you.
I
I mean, I still didn't see his face. I just saw
I don't.
an air
don't
cock.
know, not confirmed.
Yeah, we still don't know who did
It
it.
could have also been her. I mean, not her, other her. I mean,
My hands
Maybe-
are
Could've been
bloody,
one.
but not bloody with king.
Maybe it was the other me, and I am an avenger of Altieri and the Empire, the Stonekeeper Empire.
yeah, let's go with that. Okay, anyways.
I don't know if I want to be an avenger of the Stonekeeper Empire. No,
Well, you're gonna be
offense to
something.
you. Okay. How attached are you to the Stonekeeper Empire, Fagin?
Look, are we gonna go into how I feel about my political affiliations?
Yeah, 100%.
I grew up here, I guess. I don't really like how it's run, which is kind of why I decided to become a hold master when it was offered, and I haven't really had a chance to do anything.
But this is your
'Cause at
chance.
first, well, yeah. See, so this is good. My first time really making political change, and it's a coup.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I guess that tracks. So, Annie,
Bring her
you
in.
fly the ship in.
Yeah.
And he aims the ship straight down.
As you guys go flying over, like there are there are hundreds of thousands of people in this city. And as you go over mid-tier, because you go low enough to land in the higher part of mid-tier, you can look down and see all the people like pointing at you guys' airship. You know it doesn't look normal. Dolus, you especially, now that you've seen an Empire airship up close, your airship looks nothing like the airships that come flying in here. So you are definitely like a show. Like people are like, what's happening? Like crowds of people are pointing up at you and everything. Fagin at this point turns to you guys like, all right, everybody, masks on.
Mm.
Yes, Hush.
As Hush puts in his two things is, I have things to give everybody before we leave.
Oh, did you make
Hurry up. We're about to land.
Go, yeah, dude, go, okay. I made trinkets for everybody, and he explains everybody's head that if you have this trinket, I can find you. And I made them into bracelets.
Aw.
Dolus, you get a skull.
I guess it's better than
Attractive.
Lazaga or whatever it was.
After you guys lost the last ones.
Lazana.
Well, now he knows you guys better. Lotus, he walks over and gives you a bracelet with a tiny little spoon on it. Hick, he walks over and yours has a hand on it.
Like
Like a hand.
Okay.
It's like the hands of time.
Clever.
Annie, Hush walks over to you and it's like, here's a little witch hat.
Oh.
As
So
long
these
as you
are little
have,
bracelets with charms on them, or is it like
yeah, they're little bracelets with charms on them.
oh, like
He
hanging
made
off of it, or
friendship
like,
bracelets.
Yeah, they're really
Oh,
small.
like
What
French.
color is it?
It's just wood.
it's made of wood?
Oh, it's just wood.
It's wood.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, no, you need to hold on to this so that I can find you if you ever get lost. You don't have to wear it. You can put it in your pocket.
She does that.
Okay.
Doesn't match the aesthetic.
Well.
I walk over. I made 4 extra. I walk over to Lorelei. It's a scale. Looks like a little thing. I walk over to. Well, I made Twink one, but Twink's not here.
Yeah.
But what does it look like? It's a wrench.
Oh,
Eggold, he walks over and hands it. It looks like a fried egg. And he walks over and pokes Delilah. And hands one to her.
Now fuck Alina.
Oh crap! I always have Alina.
You
Alina-
fought more.
Delilah.
Alina looks like a little fire.
Oh.
And he hands Delilah the last one, and it is a flower. And he exclaims, I just wanted to make a new one. This is really similar to the one that my mom had, and I wanted to recreate it. Because she couldn't have flowers because we lived really cold place in the mountains.
Thanks, Hush.
And I'll give this one to
Delilah
Twink when he gets back.
ties her little charm on.
Put mine on as well.
As the ship comes to sort of a stop, and then she does a quick little, and her whole outfit, like, you watch this wave of that sort of cracking glass and prism effect sort of wash over her body, and she's back in her blue and gold outfit that you frequently have seen her in.
Does the effects does it look refined again, or is it still that kind of like hectic one from when she pulled up?
Oh no, because she was in a total. She's been in the outfit from when she pulled up this whole
the
time.
effect, the crystallizing
Oh
effect.
yeah, no, that's why I was like, it's like breaking prism effect. It's that broken glass shattering prism effect.
Yikes.
And I will also say, Annie doesn't care, so I won't, like, Annie's probably not paying attention. But Hush, for sure, and, let's see, who's got the good highs? Obviously Lotus, but also Hickory and, yeah, Dolus is high enough. She, like, very faintly, winces slightly as she casts. So nothing is said. She doesn't like make any noises of pain or react anyway. She doesn't even like flinch. There's just a little twinge in like her face and a little fidget of her fingers as she casts, and her outfit corrects itself. She does nothing to fix her hair.
As she like corrects herself, like her whole head of hair is messed up. But like, I point out one thing, and I'm just like, you have like a.
She just licks her hand and just.
Oh.
Okay. Like there's like a moment of what the fuck? Why would you? But then Dolls is just like, I don't care enough.
Yeah.
She wants to lick her head. She can lick her head.
Well, no, she like licks her hand and she like runs her
know.
hair flat with it. Okay.
She's smooth.
I don't imagine that she like a tongue like a frog licks her top of her head.
She's been Petri all
She
along.
was like licks her eyeball.
All right, no, move on. Cry out. Keep going.
You guys dock at the airship dock. And
Don't.
the gangplank goes down. You guys get off the ship.
Oh, like right as Hickory's like heading off, she has like the split thing of just like,
You leave the note, right?
yeah, I'm just gonna say,
We already said it, so I assumed you'd already left it.
yeah,
for, like,
okay.
Nori to
It's just
find.
under her fucking
Pillow.
cot pillow, yeah.
Sick. Yes, Lotus.
Who else is coming off with us?
I was about to say, Atronon and Fagin and Aster all get off. Delilah gets off. Lorelei is definitely trying to come. And Alina is coming, because that's just sort of to be expected at this point, I would say.
She's licensed.
That's true. She is, in fact, like, she's also, as far as your group goes, minus Atronon and Fagin and Aster, she's the only one who knows her way around.
Yeah. Hickory only knows the lower tiers.
But yeah, as everybody's getting off the ship, Eggold specifically comes over to you, Lotus. And he like gets down on a knee, so he's closer to eye level with you. He's now a little lower than you because of height differences, but he's like, "Sure you don't want me to get off?"
I mean, we need somebody to man the ship.
I mean, the
No, we need somebody to man the ship.
the dweeb twins can do
No.
it. Can be.
War crimes.
Fox here, he can be in charge.
No.
Fox can be a good captain.
Yes.
Make sure everybody was fed.
Uh-huh. But then he'd have too many things he'd need to do.
Be safe, okay, kid?
Of course.
And if it's gonna be anyone, don't let it be.
I will do my best.
Yes, Dolus.
In a very similar fashion, as Alina's getting off, I have like the reverse conversation. Are you sure? Do you want to
She's
get
like-
off?
She's already like partway down the gangplank when you're like, "Are you sure?" And she like turns back to you and she's like, "Yeah."
But like the prophecy or whatever.
I got on this ship. And since then, I've been shot and stabbed and set on fire, attacked by magic-eating bugs. I've met a vampire. I've met dragons. And... oh, also, I don't know, we met a god that one time.
You're not gonna whisper that one?
Yeah, like anyone's gonna believe that. Also, every
Okay.
cleric thinks they've met God.
I,
No offense. Look, if
I
a
get-
prophecy's gonna knock one of us, then a prophecy's gonna knock one of us.
I get where you're coming from. I'll let you know now. If I believe that the circumstances might be dire, specifically regarding you, I will bring you into the ring. Well, to bring you into,
Let's just say ring.
you know, yeah. And keep you safe.
Don't. Don't make it worse for everybody else by taking me. Just protect. Now, come on. I'm standing on the gangplank. No one else can get off.
Okay.
Goes down.
Hickory has a little moment, like right as her, like from the gangplank to the actual like dock, to where she just like stands there for like half a second. We've broken more than this. We can break fate. And steps off.
You all get off the airship. Eggold, Frankie, Felix, Lachlan, and Kaeda are all standing up top. Give you little waves. Frankie and Felix give you guys an identical salute from both of them. Here in the airship landing, again, it is like a big train hub. So there's the big glass ceiling that is letting sunlight in. There are all these big pillars, and there is granite stone floors. A bunch of people are kind of shocked looking at your ship, but Atronon and Fagin stepped off first and also immediately walked to a guard and started talking to them. So no one is stepping up or intervening in any way. A couple of the guards are kind of like whispering each other to and pointing at Lorelei. And she kind of like sees them. She's just like,
I
I'm
think
wanted.
maybe you should have a disguise on.
This is my disguise.
Like a different one.
Do you think there's something wrong with me, Dolus?
No, I think you're a wanted criminal.
Yeah, and it's great, isn't it? And then she just walks after Atronon and Fagin.
I don't know why I tried.
You gave it your best shot.
It only matters
like
that you do.
I start walking forward. I have my rod, and I'm like sort of like walking with him. My outfits, because knowing we're going into like the high tier, I've made my outfit slightly like shinier, like a little more proper. And I'm like walking with the rod, almost like it's like a fancy cane of some kind.
Nice.
Gonna look at Leon's like, do you want to hold his hand or can I? Because he only
Go
has
ahead.
one hand left. Okay. You can hold my other hand.
Okay. Nelina holds your other hand. The little family unit.
You hold my hand, and I'm like, there's a part of Dolas where he's like, maybe we should just like interlock arms to be more proper. And then he thinks about it. He's like, nah, fuck it.
You guys walk through this big space, sort of passing by fancily dressed folk as well as merchants and just regular citizens. And you are led to the end where there is sort of an opening in the ceiling that it clearly has like shutters and can close, but it is currently open. And there is a big square with railings and stuff. Step onto one of the great lifts of Altieri. There's like an attendant next to it who's got there's like a big pipe that clearly goes straight up that you guys can, especially Hickory, because this is very similar to stuff you had in Iceholm, is for talking to someone on the other end. And so the person is just like, "Old Masters, coming up!" and pulls a bunch of levers. And there's a lot, like a big heavy and the sound of just stone slowly grinding as you guys begin the lift. It is a bit slow going. It is not a fast elevator experience, but it's got an amazing view.
I could go faster.
What's the weather
this.
like?
The weather is clear. There's a few little white clouds out in the sky, but otherwise it's like a nice blue sky. You guys can see all the way out across the plains.
Is it warm here? Or is it cold? I can't remember.
It is pretty cold. Still autumn. You guys are a lot closer to the equator here, though, so it is definitely not as cold. Like, you're not going to see frost here in the mornings, but
It's just chilly.
It's chilly. Plus, you guys are high up now, so it is like being at the top of a skyscraper almost.
As we're like looking out onto like the sky and the whatever. Annie. I like gesture her to like come closer, so I'm not talking too loud to where people would hear. How do you experience beauty?
I get dressed.
Damn. That's crazy, dog. That's fucking crazy.
Where were these lines when Lorelei was asking you to fuck? No, I'm sorry.
Dolus opens his mouth to respond. He just... Of course. Thank you.
Would you like fashion advice?
I don't... Maybe.
Is that what
Not
you were
right
asking?
now. No, not even remotely why. But, you know, this is fine. Did you go to like fashion school? Just having, like...
You guys have your little chit chats as you ride your way up the lift. Nice view. Sort of a moment of quiet as you're all sort of nervous about whatever is about to happen. Because you know something's about to happen. Fagin and Atronon are doing a little back and forth, kind of being like, okay, so we're going to do X or da-da-da, like trying to wrap their minds around it. Aster has kind of joined you guys all at the railing, just looking out. And Delilah is standing in the center of the lift, staring at the wall where, like, once you get to the top, it's just going to be the city.
It.
She is just like Blair Witching, except instead of the corner, she is just in the dead center.
There's like a moment where Hush like saw like Alina, Dolus, and Lotus like holding hands, and he's like wants to attempt to grab Delilah's hand, but is like,
No. Probably not a good idea.
Hush.
Hmm.
I like gesture his head towards me, and then I take the staff. I take my rod. I put it on my back and I extend my hand out towards him.
Immediately goes over and grabs it. He sits there very, very happy.
You guys all hold hands and look out at the view.
Just for now.
Hickory and Annie stare it out there with you and everything. Everybody has a nice
Hickory.
little moment of peace. And you all are going to get 3 points of temp HP.
3 points of exhaustion. Oh, that's cute. Share a moment. Feel
I
better.
was
A
about to be
brief
like,
little respite.
"Hickory, you want to hold hands?" Here,
Rose another
Annie.
hand.
I could.
It's just
That'd be a great
Hick-
move when we're trying to lay low.
Hickory. Listen, I can spawn another one.
Annie.
Laura. Mound of arms.
You guys, all of you, as this sort of moment of respite, it sort of comes to a close. You hear Fagin kind of call back out to you guys, just like, okay, eyes up, we're about to be at the top.
Hickory like cracks her neck. She's like, all right, fucking.
You guys all turn back and gather in various ways as the lift finally comes to a shuddering little like boom, 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 like stop for last and feet. As you guys come up over the edge, out ahead of you, there are dozens and dozens of guards just standing in rows. And at the center of the front of them is a woman who you guys do not recognize. But Fagin and Atronon clearly both immediately do. 6'4", like a tall, imposing woman. Just long, silver hair. And she is practically glowing. Like, she is pale as moonlight. Fagin, like, as it comes to a stop, she has a big mace that is head down, and her hands are on the pommel. Fagin's like, Alora! It's been a while. When did we see each other last? Snow turn? I mean, that's a long time to hang out, right? Peace talks, huh? She just stares at him. We should actually probably talk in private. I've kind of gotten... She just goes, silence.
Oh shit.
Fagin, I'm not surprised by. But you, Atronon... Guards, please gather the traitors. Unless, of course, they'd rather do this the hard way.
Hey, Cryo.
Yeah.
Just to be sure, Doc doesn't see anything, right?
Nope. Just a woman standing there.
That's worse. That's actually worse.
In this moment, I try and look. I try and clock Fagin, Atronon, what in the rest of the party, what is.
Fagin clearly has some kind of okay, maybe we can still talk this out. Like there's clearly he's just running through what to say. Atronon has his hand sort of open, and you've seen this sort of position before that he's clearly ready to just reach up and grab the axe if he needs to. But he hasn't moved yet. as you're sort of getting a clock for the whole party in this sort of moment, and the woman who you presume to be Alora says her line about unless they'd rather do this the hard way. One of your group steps forward. Delilah.
Uh-oh.
Who just cracks her neck one time, just goes, "The hard way sounds amazing."
Oh, shit!
We had a
I
promise. We had a promise.
I
Delilah.
extend my hand forwards, and in the same motion as I do a slow, I snap my fingers and cast synaptic static on the back of all of the guards and where Alora is.
That is where we're going to end our session today.
We're doing this the hard way, boys. Oh,
Thank you all so much for watching this episode. We made it to Altieri.
now we're gonna die on it.
Damn, dog, you guys really just said, anyway, chaos!
Every path ends in chaos.
Apparently this one starts with it.
Actually, it
You gotta-
started with a nice ocean view.
You got to start somewhere. Thank you all so much for watching. This is a good time. I'm so excited for this. This is going to be such a great time. It's going to lead to great things. Good story arc. Good time. Love you guys. I love my players. This is a great time. If you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed DMing and as much as I hope everyone enjoyed playing, then why don't you go on over to our Ko-fi in the description below and support us or get some of our merch, because that lets us keep doing this show, which we like doing very much. So thank you all so much. Feel free to check out. We also have affiliate links. If you want to buy dice, you can go over to Dice Goblin and check that out. That's fantastic. And you can show up next Monday, unless it's the first Monday of the month, because we take that day off, and you can see what happens next. So for now, bye-bye.